Chapter 1025. Outside the Nine-Wolf Mountain, a divine cloud suddenly flew over from afar. Amidst this powerful aura, the two leading heavenly venerables descended from the sky with a group of chief gods. Heavenly Venerable Nine-Wolf could tell a glance and was overjoyed. Heavenly Venerable Changkong, Heavenly Venerable Changfeng have come personally. It's a pleasure to meet you. Although Heavenly Venerable Nine-Wolf was also a Heavenly Venerable, he was still a Heavenly Venerable sent outside. Whether it was cultivation or strength, he could not be compared to the Heavenly Venerables by the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor's side. Therefore, seeing the arrival of the two strongest Heavenly Venerables, Heavenly Venerable Nine-Wolf's flattery was easy to understand. Hearing that esteemed guests have arrived, my master ordered the two of us to come and welcome you. Changkong was expressionless. Although it was a treat, this person was born with a dark face, so he could not say such warm words when welcoming guests. Qin Wushuang said indifferently, "What is your master's name? Is he related to the Qi Yang, Holy Emperor?" "Why do you ask?" Changkong glared. Qin Wushuang did not reveal his abilities at this moment. With the strength of Changkong and the rest, they could not see the depth of his abilities. The Qiyang Holy Emperor is in trouble, so he ordered me to come and inform his disciples to go and rescue him. From there, he will evaluate those disciples and see who can inherit his mantle. Qin Wushuang looked at these heavenly venerables. They did not look like the people that the Qiyang Holy Emperor had mentioned. That was strange. Could it be that the original people of the Qiyang cosmos had all been wiped out? The Qiyang Holy Emperor had mainly mentioned 9 disciples in the Qiyang heavenly ship. Among them, 3 were the most important, but none of them were called Shui Yun. What was going on with this Shui Yun Holy Emperor? Was it an outsider, or did the Qiyang Holy Emperor's disciples change their names? Qin Wushuang felt that if the disciples changed their names, even if they changed their signboard, they should not deny the Qiyang cosmos to outsiders. It was very likely that the Qiyang cosmos had really changed owners. It was no longer under the control of the Qiyang Holy Emperor's disciples. Qin Wushuang communicated with AI Simo and Nan Nan through their consciousness, asking them to descend the celestial ship. Even Changkong and Changfeng were shocked when they saw the majestic celestial ship descend. The majestic celestial ship had exceeded their horizons. "Gentlemen, please." Qin Wushuang remained calm and collected as he gestured for them to lead the way. Qin Wushuang saw the expressions of these two people. The Scarlet Sun heavenly ship. Clearly, these two did not know about it. Otherwise, their expressions would not be like this. In that case, the trusted subordinates of the Shui Yun Holy Emperor also didn't recognize the Scarlet Sun heavenly ship. From the looks of it, the people around the Shui Yun Holy Emperor, at least in terms of the backbone, were not the Scarlet Sun Holy Emperor's disciples. The location of the Blood Cloud Palace was not where the Scarlet Sun Divine Palace used to be. It was in the middle of a dense forest of giant blood-colored rocks. These giant rocks towered into the sky and were extremely rugged. They surrounded and protected the Blood Cloud Palace and appeared extraordinary. Qin Wushuang let the celestial ship stop outside. He only brought Bao Lone and the Fire Kylan and followed Changkong and Changfeng into the Blood Cloud Palace. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor was dressed in a red robe. On his forehead, there was a Dharma eye that shot out a burst of astonishing red light when it opened. Behind him, there was a ball of red cloud. Like that ferocious flame, it gave people a powerful psychological intimidation. "Boss, this guy is not simple," Bao whispered through his spiritual perception. Of course, Qin Wushuang knew that this person was not simple. He had intentionally unleashed his aura. Only, Qin Wushuang was no longer at the heavenly warrior level. Indistinctly, his aura did not yield. The purple cloud floated behind him, and accompanied by the golden light around him, it blocked the aura of the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor. Honorable guests." The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor walked down from the palace in large strides. "You are all honorable guests. I think my teacher must have suffered a lot outside. I am deeply grateful for all of you bringing my teacher to pass on the message." "Who is your teacher?" Qin Wushuang asked lightly. The Qiang Holy Emperor is my teacher. This blood cloud small cosmos was personally established by my master. Unfortunately, he went missing after a great battle with the Shura of Gojoseon. He left me and the other unfilial disciples here, missing my teacher all the time. Thank goodness, there's finally good news. Qin Wushuang nodded. Only, your name is not among the disciples mentioned by the Holy Emperor. I would like to ask, what is your name under the Qiyang Holy Emperor? Haha, I was not famous under my teacher's tutelage. I was able to surpass him and temporarily occupy the position of the Master of the Universe because all my senior brothers died in battle, which benefited me. Died in battle? The Qiang Holy Emperor mentioned 9 names to me. They are Qin Chuan, Shun Xiao, Benevolent King. Qin Wushuang reported 9 names in one breath. The first 7 names were real, but when he reported the last 2 names, he deliberately made up 2 names. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor looked excited and kept nodding. Yes, these 9 senior brothers were my teacher's 9 disciples. These 9 senior brothers took the lead to fight against the enemy, but they died one after another. Now, only a few of them are my teacher's subordinates. The rest are more or less the juniors that the senior brothers took in on behalf of their teacher. I, Blood Cloud Holy Emperor, couldn't enter the top 30 under my teacher's tutelage. If it wasn't for a chance encounter, it would be impossible for me to reach the level of the Holy Emperor. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor's move was very clever, but no matter how clever he was, he didn't know that the seemingly honest Qin Wushuang had already arranged a trap in words. As long as he went in, he would be exposed no matter what. Sure enough, this Blood Cloud Saint Emperor directly went in and spoke as if he was serious and had a nose and eyes. He didn't expose him and nodded. If that's the case, these 9 senior brothers are worthy of respect. Even if they died, there should be a tomb or memorial tablet or something. Can we pay our respects? The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor was stunned. He smiled and said, these senior brothers fought against the enemy outside, and most of them died in a foreign land without a corpse. Now there is no tomb. That's fine. Let us pay our respects to the old site of the Scarlet Sun Divine Palace. Sigh. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor looked sad. There is no more Scarlet Sun Divine Palace in this world. The Scarlet Sun Divine Palace was completely destroyed by the enemy. After millions of years, the world has changed. It is no longer what it used to be. Everyone, if you have any news about my teacher, please let me know. If my teacher comes back, he will definitely rebuild the Scarlet Sun Divine Palace and wash away the hatred. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor looked extremely sad. Qin Wushuang also played along. I'm afraid the Scarlet Sun Holy Emperor won't be able to rebuild the Scarlet Sun Divine Palace. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor's heart skipped a beat. What happened to my teacher? That old man had sealed himself. He asked me to send a message to his disciples to inherit his Holy Emperor divine weapon. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor was shocked. Where is he? He is at least 5,000 years away from here. Your Excellency, Holy Emperor, I have already passed on the message. It is up to you whether you want to go or not. Qin Wushuang said this deliberately, but he sighed in his heart. He was too late. It seemed that the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor had seized power 1,000,000 years ago. At that time, the battle between the Scarlet Sun Holy Emperor and the Shura of Gojoseon might have ended long ago. As for what happened to the Scarlet Sun Holy Emperor, it was probably a mystery for all eternity. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor's thoughts surged. He knew how much he was worth. After taking the Scarlet Sun Holy Emperor's small universe, he was worried every day. He was worried that the Scarlet Sun Holy Emperor would come back for revenge. Today, when he heard that the Scarlet Sun Holy Emperor had sealed himself, he was overjoyed. At the same time, a huge greed arose in his heart. If he could get the Scarlet Sun Holy Emperor's treasure with his own cultivation, he would be able to become one of the 10 Holy Emperors in the future, just like the Scarlet Sun Holy Emperor. Friend, may I ask the specific direction of the place where my master sealed himself? Can you tell me? The celestial ship you used to come here should be my master's, right? Can you return it? Qin Wushuang smiled and said, "The celestial ship is the reward that the Scarlet Sun Holy Emperor promised me. As long as I send a message, the ship will belong to me. If you ask for it now, are you going back on your word?" The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor smiled and said, "Of course not. I didn't know that my master made such a promise. Can you stay in my Blood Cloud Palace for a few days and allow me to be a good host?" Qin Wushuang was naturally willing. There were many things here that he had not investigated clearly. Although the Scarlet Sun Holy Emperor's foundation had been taken away, but if there were any remaining disciples under him, he would save them if he could. No matter what, he was a disciple of the Scarlet Sun Holy Emperor. He had inherited the Scarlet Sun Holy Emperor's legacy and was originally here to take over the Scarlet Sun universe. Now, this Blood Cloud Holy Emperor had overstepped his authority and overstepped his authority. Immediately, he smiled and said, "I will go back to the ship to rest. Holy Emperor, if you need anything, you can find me there." The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor was very shrewd. He did not object explicitly and said with a nod, "If that's the case, that's good. Let me make some arrangements here, and then I will go ask for advice." "Sure." Qin Wushuang cupped his hands and left the Blood Cloud Palace with Bao Bao and the others. The third eye on the forehead of the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor narrowed into a slit. A flash of red light, like the light of a blade, swallowed in front of his forehead with terrifying power. "Your Majesty, these guys don't trust us," Heavenly Master Chongfeng said. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor gave a light snort. "So what if they don't trust us? As long as he tells me the exact address, we can completely ignore him. I'm just afraid this kid is up to no good and is deliberately deceiving us. Yes, we must guard against this. I saw that kid was vague and unwilling to tell me the exact address. It seems he doesn't trust me completely and is deliberately deceiving us." He didn't deliberately deceive us. Blood Cloud Saint Emperor's analysis was also reasonable. After all, Qin Wushuang had shown his vigilance and not the temptation of boasting. Then what should we do? There must be some way to gain their trust. Heavenly Master Chongkong could not help but suggest, "Your Majesty, why don't we go to the God-confining prison and take a few people out? We can use our spiritual perception to control them. This way, with the original Scarlet Sun Holy Emperor's disciple in front, they will have no reason to doubt us." Initially, when this Blood Cloud Holy Emperor invaded, he only killed a few stubborn and powerful disciples of the Scarlet Sun sect. He did not kill them all at once. For the remaining people, he sealed their vital energy and imprisoned them in the God-confining prison. To be continued. If you like this work, you're welcome to come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 10:26. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor's heart skipped a beat when he heard this suggestion. After pondering for a moment, he felt that this was probably the best solution. If he couldn't gain the other party's trust, it would be impossible for him to get the other party to tell him the exact location. Only by dispelling the other party's doubts would he be able to obtain the exact location. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor didn't believe that a messenger would stick to his principles. As long as he could fool the other party, he would have complete control over the subsequent matters. "Pass down my order. Bring a few leaders here," the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor ordered. He then turned to Chongkong and said, "Chongkong, I'll leave this matter to you." "Yes, brother. Go, and return quickly. Don't delay," the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor ordered. Heavenly Venerate Chongkong accepted the order and left quickly. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor sat there with his eyes closed, deep in thought. None of the Heavenly Venerates under him dared to speak, fearing that they would disturb the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor. After all, the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor was an expert on the same level as the Holy Emperor. Ever since Qin Wushuang left, he had a nagging feeling that something was amiss. This nagging feeling made him feel very uneasy, as if something was about to happen. Something's not right. Something's not right today. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor's divine sense spun rapidly as he began to recall the other party's words and actions. He thought about it over and over again in his mind. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor's 3 eyes suddenly opened at the same time. He shouted, Changfeng, bring me a list of all the disciples under Qiyang. The more detailed the information, the better. Heavenly Venerate Changfeng didn't ask for the reason and immediately went to do it. This matter was naturally done quickly. Not long after, Heavenly Venerate Changfeng returned with a list of information. The blood cloud Holy Emperor glanced at it and stood up like a spear. His expression changed drastically. Everyone knew that something was wrong when they saw this change, but no one dared to ask. Damn it, what a cunning fellow. Saint Emperor Blood Cloud was enraged. Pass down my order. Changfeng, gather the 28 celestial venerables and surround the Saint Emperor Heavenly Ark immediately. Your Majesty, what's wrong? There's a trap in that kid's words. Do you remember the 9 names he mentioned? The last 2 names were deliberately said wrongly. Damn it, none of us noticed. Ah, so he already knows we're fakes. It's fine if you know. Now that he's in our territory, it's no longer up to him. I won't let him leave. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor was enraged, and the team was quickly assembled. However, at this time, hurried footsteps suddenly came from outside. An Empyrean rushed in. Your Majesty, things are not good. The God-sealing prison was attacked, and Empyrean Vast Sky was captured and disappeared. The God-sealing prison has been completely opened. Everyone has been captured and gone missing. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor's heart sank. He was so angry that he almost vomited blood. All these years, he had been scheming against others. He had planned with every possibility taken into account. Today, he did not expect to be continuously schemed against by an outsider. He lost in one move and was restrained in every move. He could tell that the other party had been scheming against him step by step. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor really had the urge to vomit blood. However, he was still a formidable character in the end. After being angry, he calmed down. The other party was able to silently subdue Empyrean Vast Sky. He was definitely a Holy Emperor powerhouse. This point was already proven when they met back then. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor shouted angrily, "Gather the troops. We must not let them leave our territory." In the Scarlet Sun heavenly ship, Qin Wushuang transformed into a gust of wind. Purple light flashed, and he had already entered the Scarlet Sun heavenly ship. He casually threw Empyrean Vast Sky onto the ground. At the same time, the purple light retracted. Those Scarlet Sun disciples whose auras were sealed by the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor also landed on the ground. Counting, there were about 30 to 40 people. Clearly, they were all the disciples that the Scarlet Sun Holy Emperor was most proud of back then. Among them, there were a few very familiar faces. There was information about them in the celestial ship. These people all revealed excited looks when they saw the celestial ship. Everyone, you did not see wrongly. This is the Scarlet Sun heavenly ship. Your master's item back then, Qin Wushuang said with a smile. Those disciples all had tears streaming down their faces. Their expressions were incomparably excited. Master, it's really Master. Sir, where's my master? Where's he? Qin Wushuang sighed and said, Everyone, you are all the disciples of the Scarlet Sun Holy Emperor. I won't hide it from you. His Majesty the Scarlet Sun Holy Emperor has already fallen. When these disciples heard this bad news, each and every one of them wailed sorrowfully. They beat their chests and stomped their feet, crying very brokenly, although they had long guessed such an outcome. Otherwise, it was absolutely impossible for their master to not appear for millions of years. Now that they got confirmation, they still cried incessantly. After crying for a while, these disciples raised their heads and looked at Qin Wushuang. The disciple in the lead was clearly one of the 9 great disciples of Empyrean Scarlet Sun back then. He was also one of the only 2 left. This person was called Shun Zhao. He was also an Empyrean level powerhouse. Qin Wushuang used a supreme divine ability and reopened their auras. These cultivators were at least sovereigns. There were 7 to 8 Empyrean level. Once their auras were reopened, the seal was undone. They were like tigers coming out of their nests. Their combat power immediately recovered 70 to 80%. Qin Wushuang said, Everyone, your injuries still need to be nursed back to health. This Empyrean Scarlet Sun was left behind by His Majesty, the Scarlet Sun, Holy Emperor. 1 day is equivalent to 100 days. Rest for a few days, and your power will be restored. Shun Zhao said with an excited expression. Senior, may I ask who you are? Do you have any relationship with my master? Bao Bao laughed. You can't call our boss senior. Ha, my boss is only 10,000 years old. He is younger than you guys. Only 10,000 years old? Shun Zhao was greatly astonished. As if he had seen something, he stared at Qin Wushuang with disbelief. Clearly, he felt this monkey was joking. A moment ago, they felt Qin Wushuang's method to undo their seal. That method was clearly at the level of the Holy Emperor. How was it possible for the Holy Emperor to be less than 10,000 years old? Not to mention Shun Zhao and the others in history. Most likely the number of people who had reached the level of the Holy Emperor before 50,000 years old would not exceed the number of fingers on one hand. 10,000 years old. It was simply, there was only one word to describe it, and that was monstrous. Even Qin Wushuang himself, and even Li Xianfeng, who had nurtured him and arranged everything for him, most likely would not have expected that they had nurtured such a monstrous heir. If it were just a single Holy Emperor, regardless of Li Xianfeng, the Holy Emperor Qiyang, or the Shura of Gojoseon, they would not have been able to nurture such a monstrous disciple. Because of the combination of the three, the different characteristics kept merging on the path of training and allowed Qin Wushuang to achieve such a monstrous training speed. If the news of a 10,000-year-old Holy Emperor were to spread out, most likely the entire Great Luo universe would be in an uproar. Even those 10 Holy Emperors who had lived in seclusion for millions of years would most likely not be able to resist the urge to come out and take a look. Qin Wushuang laughed. Everyone, don't look at me like that. It's just a coincidence. The more he explained, the more dumbfounded those people became. This way, what that monkey had said was true. Was it really the 10,000-year-old Holy Emperor? Bao Bao had a wicked interest and loved to see people's disbelieving expression the most. He laughed with extreme pride. I'm afraid you guys still don't know, right? Your teacher, the Holy Emperor Qiyang, has already passed down his legacy to my boss. He was ordered by the Holy Emperor Qiyang to return to the Qiyang Little Universe to take a look. Unexpectedly, the Qiyang Little Universe had changed owners. What? Shun Zhao and the others shot a look of disbelief. Then, each of them revealed an ecstatic expression. Their teacher was dead. Yet he had found such an exceptional heir. This way, wouldn't it be possible for them to take back control of the Qiyang Little Universe? Mister, is this true? Shun Zhao still cannot believe it. Qin Wushuang nodded. Although I was not chosen by the Holy Emperor Qiyang himself, I had unintentionally inherited his legacy. In his will, he asked me to return to his territory to take a look. Since I have inherited the legacy of the Holy Emperor Qiyang, of course it's my duty. Everyone, what is going on with that Shui Yun Holy Emperor? When he mentioned that Shui Yun Holy Emperor, each of them revealed an indignant expression. Shun Zhao said angrily, "This Shui Yun Holy Emperor has a type of demonic technique that excels in transformation. He changed into my teacher's appearance and suddenly returned to the Qiyang Palace. He gathered my 3 senior brothers and killed them all. Then, he gathered them in batches and defeated them one by one. In the end, when we found out, we had already fallen into his trap. He had sealed our qi and imprisoned us for millions of years. This Qiyang Little Universe also fell into his hands." Qin Wushuang nodded. "I thought that guy was good. Indeed, he is a fake that plotted to usurp power. This way, we must take back the control of this Qiyang Little Universe." Shun Zhao said with great joy, "Yes, since you have inherited the legacy of our teacher, then you are our chief senior brother. I am still young. How dare I call myself senior brother? He, the capable one, is the leader. This is the rule of the Qiyang sect. If you don't become our senior brother, we will be even less qualified. Yes, chief senior brother, please uphold justice for us." These people actually spoke in unison. The momentum stunned Qin Wushuang. "Everyone, please stand up and speak." Since I am a disciple of the Qiyang sect, I should serve my teacher. That Shui Yun holy emperor killed our fellow disciples. Even if he is not a usurper, we will not tolerate him. Everyone, please rest in this sky ship and recover your strength as soon as possible. That Shui Yun holy emperor knows that I have attacked the God-sealing prison. He will definitely come here. This sky ship's defense is amazing. Even if it is the holy emperor, it will be difficult to break through. Unless your cultivation is stronger than Master Qiyang. There are not many people who are stronger than Master Qiyang. When Shun Zhao talked about his teacher, his tone was also full of pride. Just as they were talking, GMO walked over quickly. Boss, the Shui Yun Holy Emperor brought 27 heavenly venerables. They are here aggressively. They have already surrounded our sky ship. Speaking of the Shui Yun Holy Emperor, this person had already arrived. His speed was indeed fast. Shun Zhao and the others' expressions changed slightly. Obviously, they were also afraid of the Shui Yun Holy Emperor. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Qidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 10:27. Qin Wushuang smiled lightly. Good timing. Everyone, take a rest and watch me fight. Shun Zhao said anxiously. How can we do that? Those 27 people, including Chong Kong you captured, are the strongest subordinates of the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor. They are called the 28 Mansions. They have a great formation called the Primeval Celestial Phenomenon Formation. Even if the Holy Emperor is trapped, he will be badly battered. If he is not careful, he will die with a grudge. Haha, that's good. Since they have Chong Kong, how do we use this formation? Qin Wushuang spoke casually, yet he was secretly on guard. He did not dare to underestimate the enemy. He instructed Bao Bao, Bao Bao, you and Lone will be in charge of the internal matters of the celestial ship. Shun Zhao and my fellow disciples, please take a rest. Watch me go and meet them. After he had finished speaking, he carried Chong Kong's body and flew out of the celestial ship. He carried the Dao-E divine sword on his back and hung the graceful spiritual bow on his waist. He appeared majestic like a heavenly god. Even the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor was inwardly awed by his carefree temperament. Although he wanted to swallow Qin Wushuang alive, he did not dare to underestimate the enemy. He sent his spiritual perception and instructed, you all must not underestimate the enemy. The Primeval Celestial Phenomenon Formation is missing a position and has an opening. Once it is set up, before the opening appears, try to trap him and I will win with a surprise attack. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor's strategy was clear. He wanted to use the formation to trap Qin Wushuang. Then, he would use his supreme divine skills to launch a surprise attack and kill him. Perhaps this battle was the best choice to trap a Holy Emperor to death. Or else, in a one-on-one battle, unless he had an overwhelming advantage, it would be extremely difficult to kill the enemy. Qin Wushuang glanced around and raised the vast sky heavenly warrior in his hand leisurely. He laughed. Saint Emperor Blood Cloud, I didn't expect to meet you so soon. You are quite efficient. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor's expression turned cold. Mister, a straightforward person does not resort to insinuations. Just were you to come to my Blood Cloud universe to amuse me. Qin Wushuang laughed loudly. Who am I? I should be the one asking you this question. Do you see the person in my hand? Take it back. After saying that, Qin Wushuang shook his arm. The hidden force had already shattered celestial venerable Chong Kong's soul. His body was struck by the purple light and exploded like a ball of purple light. Countless dazzling flares shot out in all directions. The power of this explosion was incomparably tyrannical. The Holy Emperor of the Blood Cloud was not afraid. He opened his arm, and a whirlpool of air came out and wrapped around the flare. At this moment, Qin Wushuang's graceful spiritual bow was already in his hand. Whoosh! Whoosh! Almost at the same time, Qin Wushuang's body appeared. He flapped the purple cloud in yang wings and flew up. The graceful spiritual bow was like a golden sun. Amidst the pure and holy golden lights, 9 shooting sun arrows gushed out. Like 9 giant dragons spiraling around, they dashed out. This aura was indeed capable of devouring the heavens and the earth. Whoosh! The soaring momentum of the giant dragons messed up the formation of the 27 people in the blink of an eye. 9 strong lights flashed in succession, and 9 holes appeared in the 27 people's formation. 9 miserable cries were emitted almost at the same time. The 9 celestial venerables were completely devoured by the graceful spiritual bow's powerful devouring power. The shooting sun arrows flew back and circled around the graceful spiritual bow, making strange sounds. The graceful spiritual bow was also extremely restless at this moment. It kept emitting strange resonances. Qin Wushuang knew that this was the sign of the awakening of Shura of Gojoseon's soul after devouring the 9 celestial venerables. The awakening of the soul meant that the power of the graceful spiritual bow would become stronger. Haha, kid, you're really something. Haha, celestial venerable expert. Good, dear best. Absorb all of these 27 people in one go, and I will be able to recover about 70 to 80%. Shura of Gojoseon's consciousness was also very excited and could not help but shout. Qin Wushuang smiled leisurely and said, "The first time, they did not notice and the sneak attack was successful. The second time, it will depend on how you control the shooting sun arrows." Shura of Gojoseon smiled coldly and said, "Don't worry about these useless people. As long as you cooperate well, I guarantee that it will be useless even if they know in advance. You only need to be in charge of restraining that holy emperor." Qin Wushuang smiled and said, "Good. Restraining the holy emperor is naturally not a problem." That Shuiyin holy emperor saw that 9 of his 27 subordinates were gone in one move. He, the Shuiyin holy emperor, could not even take out one of such overbearing weapons. Who is this guy? Qin Wushuang raised his back, and the Dao-I Divine sword slashed down from the sky under the control of the soul. When the Dao-I Divine sword was activated, it actually gave off a feeling of being the strongest in the world. Li Xuanfeng's carefree spirit of roaming the Jianghu in the past seemed to have been completely inherited, and it even had the aura of a student surpassing his master. When the sword slashed down, the Shuiyin Holy Emperor suddenly felt as if a passage was opened in the galaxy, and there was a boundless power of judgment tumbling over his head. Immediately, he did not dare to be careless and raised his hand. The Holy Emperor's divine weapon was in his hand, but it was a long spear. He raised it above his head and blocked the sword. He turned around and was about to attack Qin Wushuang with the spear. However, he did not expect that the Dao-I Divine Sword was faster and faster than the previous one. It was actually very fierce and continuous. The Shuiyin Holy Emperor was not an ordinary expert. When his soul moved, it was also controlled by the soul. At the same time, both of his fists danced, multitasking, and slapped on his chest. Ha! A doppelganger. After slapping 3 times in a row, 3 doppelganger actually appeared. These doppelganger were obviously not illusions, but real demonic puppets. The Holy Emperor's demonic puppets either did not have any doppelganger, or their attacking power was definitely not much weaker than the original body. At the same time, Qin Wushuang's graceful spiritual bow had already been activated for the second time. Like harvesting wheat, it began to harvest mercilessly. At this time, instead of saying that Qin Wushuang was harvesting the lives of those celestial lords, it was better to say that the Shura of Gojoseon was harvesting their lives. When Qin Wushuang saw the Shuiyin Holy Emperor's doppelganger, he knew that this person was indeed somewhat skilled. The Dao-I Divine Sword returned to his hand. It was simple. The great Dao returned to one. With a casual wave of his hand, it was like the 2 extremes of yin and yang, one bright and one dark. 2 sword lights intersected and shot out. Qin Wushuang combined the sword intent of the Taiji sword from his previous life and completely combined it with the Dao-I Divine Sword to open up a brand new battle technique. This sword technique was in line with the Heavenly Dao. It was obviously an ordinary sword technique, but the Shuiyin Holy Emperor was very afraid and did not dare to block it directly. Obviously, the Shui Yun Holy Emperor did not completely understand this sword technique. Fortunately, the three doppelganger of the Shui Yun Holy Emperor had already begun to surround Qin Wuxuang. This was the second killing move of the Shui Yun Holy Emperor, the human wave tactic. Even if he had to sacrifice a few demonic puppets, he must kill this guy in front of him. It was too terrifying. If this guy was allowed to continue to grow, there would be no place for the Shui Yun Holy Emperor in the future. Qin Wuxuang laughed. Shui Yun, you want to use this kind of puppet technique to deal with me? I forgot to tell you that playing with demonic puppets is already outdated. After that, the Dao-E divine sword merged with him and disappeared into the void with a sweep. On the other side, the graceful spiritual Bao had already completed its second harvest. Another 9 heavenly warriors could not evade the attack despite knowing that it was coming. They let out miserable cries in unison. These miserable cries caused the Shui Yun Holy Emperor to feel waves of pain as he became impatient. Just what was that bow and arrow? How could it be so tyrannical? Although those heavenly warriors could not compete with elite warriors like the Holy Emperor, they should not be unable to evade the attack despite seeing it clearly. When did they become this weak? However, at this moment, the Shui Yun Holy Emperor also knew that it was not the time to be distracted. That opponent was unfathomable, and his methods were indeed extremely formidable. As he channeled his demonic skill, in all directions, waves of blood mist kept emerging. In a moment, the surrounding area was covered in blood color. As if a blood sea abyss, it completely locked the void. This blood mist was extremely tyrannical. Wherever it spread, all the plants and trees withered and disappeared into the blood mist. Bao swore loudly and activated the heavenly ship to retreat. Although he did not think that this blood mist could harm the heavenly ship, he still felt it was better to retreat when he saw it spreading. Just in case this blood mist had a special effect and caused the heavenly ship to be cursed and unable to be activated, it would be troublesome in the future. This blood mist carried a burst of strong, bloody smell. In a moment, it spread to 10,000 miles away. Bao could not help but curse and activate the heavenly ship to retreat. Although this blood mist spread fast, it could not be faster than the heavenly ship. Only, where was Qin Wuxuang? Even Bao felt somewhat surprised. Shun Zhao and the others were even more nervous. Their discerning eyes could see through heavenly warriors that were millions of miles away. However, they could not see where Qin Wuxuang had gone. Could it be that in the blink of an eye, he had traveled millions of miles? Although the Shui Yun Holy Emperor had gained the upper hand, he did not dare to let down his guard. Instead, he called to the remaining 9 heavenly warriors. You 9, hide behind me. That kid will not die so easily. However, in this sea of blood, you are absolutely safe. As soon as his voice dropped, Qin Wuxuang's voice sounded leisurely. Is it truly absolutely safe? At the same time, 9 more arrow lights appeared in the sky. Carrying an invincible momentum, they broke through the sea of blood and transformed into 9 golden lights. They dashed at the extreme speed in the sea of blood and drew a beautiful arc in the sea of blood, appearing extremely eye-catching. Only within this golden light, vividly, there was a surge of dark waves. This surging dark wave was filled with a burst of wild power that kept pushing forward. This burst of wild power was completely different than the power of that young man. It even carried an extremely tyrannical feeling. This style was rather close to the Shui Yun Holy Emperor. However, the Shui Yun Holy Emperor could feel that this burst of power clearly carried an ancient presence. Another elite warrior of the Holy Emperor? Suddenly, the Shui Yun Holy Emperor's heart tightened. When he realized this, the power and the 9 arrow lights were pushed to their limits. They rushed over, and the 9 celestial venerables were swept away right before his eyes. Whoosh! In front of him was a vast expanse of empty space. Not a single one of the 27 heavenly warriors survived. This kind of result made the Shui Yun Holy Emperor feel like crying. He even suspected that he was dreaming. The sea of blood that he was so proud of was actually so fragile that the enemy could take it as he wished. The Shuiyun Holy Emperor could not accept this cruel reality at all. In a fit of rage, he roared, "Who the hell is it that ruined my plan? Who?" Qin Wushuang did not reply with words. Instead, he flipped his palm, and the Qiang Golden Body Pagoda directly pressed down. The majestic momentum wrapped in infinite golden light pressed down on the sea of blood. This was a collision of the peak. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 1028. In the end, the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor was an ambitious and ruthless character. When he saw this Qiang Golden Body Pagoda pressing down, he knew that the Blood Sea could not stop this invincible golden light. Suddenly, he remembered something. Qiang Golden Body Pagoda. Qiang Golden Body Pagoda was the signature treasure of the Qiyang Divine Emperor. In the entire Great Luo universe, it could be ranked in the top 10. Regardless of how confident the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor was, he knew that he could not stop Qiang Golden Body Pagoda with his methods. Like a giant carpet being lifted up, the Blood Sea rolled and escaped at a rapid speed. With a flash of the red light, the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor had escaped directly. Among the 36 stratagems, escape was the best. If the Qiang Golden Body Pagoda broke through the Blood Sea completely, the probability of the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor knowing that he had escaped would be less than 30%. Before the Blood Sea was completely broken, he could use the Blood Sea to escape. It would not be easy for the enemy to chase after him. As soon as the Blood Sea retreated, the sky became clear and bright. Finally, the clouds and rain stopped in the entire sky and revealed a clear sky. Bao Bao also rode the heavenly ship back immediately and stopped near Qin Wushuang. Qin Wushuang used his divine soul to search. After confirming that the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor had escaped, he felt reassured. He called Bao Bao and the others to come out. As soon as Bao Bao came out, he said with smiles of exultation, "Boss, so cool. You beat the Holy Emperor and made him escape. Such methods are too tyrannical, right? Haha, who would have thought that this was your first battle as the Holy Emperor?" Qin Wushuang only smiled and did not answer. He said to Shun Zhao and the others, "This Blood Cloud Holy Emperor has escaped, and there will be no end of trouble. The foundation left by Master Qiyang must be reorganized. You will be in charge of these matters. Use the name of Master to summon all the old subordinates. Whoever does not obey will be treated as a traitor. If you surrender and plead guilty, we will let bygones be bygones." Shun Zhao was completely convinced. They had already seen Qin Wushuang's methods. The insufferably arrogant Blood Cloud Holy Emperor was beaten to a pulp in just a few moves. Even if his methods were not as good as Master's in the past, they were not far off. The Scarlet Sun Small Cosmos had a huge territory. However, it would take some time to reorganize everything. With Qin Wushuang personally overseeing the situation, there was a clear order. Those old subordinates didn't have a strong sense of belonging to the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor either. If the Holy Emperor of Blood Cloud hadn't been so strong and forcefully suppressed them, none of the Starfield Lords in Red Sun Cosmos would have submitted to him. After all, the Holy Emperor Qi Yang's reputation and prestige back then were very admirable. As a result, Shun Zhao Representative Qin Wushuang didn't meet with much resistance. On the contrary, it was very popular. It was as if the clouds had parted and the moon had been revealed. This feeling of seeing the sun again made the Scarlet Sun Small Cosmos regain a lot of vitality in just a few months. However, Qin Wushuang didn't dare to let his guard down. He cultivated in seclusion every day to comprehend the Holy Emperor's great Tao. Although he was the Holy Emperor, he still needed to consolidate and improve his realm. For example, in the battle with the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor, if he was experienced enough, he wouldn't have given the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor a chance to escape. He still lacked experience. Qin Wushuang knew that it was not easy to kill a Holy Emperor in a battle. However, if he let him escape, it would be a big trouble in the future. A fugitive like the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor would definitely not give up. He would probably find a chance to come back, even if he couldn't get any benefits. It was always possible to destroy and kill. It was impossible to guard against. Fortunately, Qin Wushuang also had one of his treasures, the Observant Finger Jade Plate. This item was just an ordinary treasure in the past. It didn't have any effect at the level of the Heavenly Supreme Tao. However, Qin Wushuang had repaired and modified it later on. He used his own divine sense to refine it. Now, it had advanced with the times and became a treasure that matched him. Qin Wushuang had always relied on this item. That was why he was willing to spend a lot of effort to modify it. Although this item couldn't lock onto the Holy Emperor's divine sense, if the Holy Emperor was close to it, it could still detect some clues. Of course, its shortcomings were obvious. If the distance was a little farther, this item wouldn't be effective at all. Its range of effect was only between 1 or 2 star areas. If it was farther, it wouldn't be able to catch it. As for the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor, he fled all the way. He thought that his opponent would chase after him. After running for a few days, he found that his opponent didn't chase after him at all. Only then did he feel a little relieved. Looking back on this battle, other than feeling sullen, he only felt sullen. His opponent was obviously not stronger than him, but he had so many treasures, especially that bow. Until now, the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor still couldn't figure out whether there was another Holy Emperor controlling it behind the scenes, or that guy was deliberately mystifying himself. With a strong sense of hatred, the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor drifted in the sky above the Star River. It had been 1,000,000 years. Sometimes, he would wake up from his dreams. He was afraid that the Holy Emperor Qiyang would come back one day. However, never in his wildest dreams would he have imagined that the one who returned was not the Crimson Sun Saint Emperor, but a young man with unknown origins. It seemed that the young man had inherited the Holy Emperor Qiyang's skills. The power of the Golden Crimson Sun Pagoda was indeed not to be underestimated. Thinking about it, the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor felt a little lucky. If he had hesitated a little, he might not have been able to escape. How many Holy Emperor experts were suppressed by the Qiyang Golden Body Pagoda? There were simply too many to count. If I can take the Qiyang Golden Body Pagoda for myself, with that magic bow, the Blood Cloud will be able to dominate the Daluo universe. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor thought angrily. However, I'm afraid that I can't beat that kid alone. I need to find a helper. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor came from a heterodox background. To put it bluntly, he was a villain who got his way. He didn't make friends with any Holy Emperor-level experts. Speaking of reliable and considerate helpers, he couldn't find a single one. If he didn't do well, the person he found might betray him. After all, in terms of reputation, he was completely different from the Holy Emperor Qiyang. Holy Emperor experts are all hypocrites. If they're motivated by benefits, they might be able to find a helper. If there are 2 Holy Emperor experts, that kid won't be able to beat us even if he has 3 heads and 6 arms. While he was thinking, the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor's eyes suddenly moved. He looked into the distance with a burning gaze. 1,000,000 miles away, an azure Sacred Emperor heavenly ship was actually flying over at high speed. Looking at its direction, it was actually heading straight for the Qiyang small universe. Does that kid have a helper? Generally speaking, the Holy Emperor wouldn't visit each other in the small universe, let alone enter each other's territory. Even if they were passing by, they would inform each other in advance. Therefore, seeing the celestial ship, the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor's first thought was that it was that kid's helper. Thinking of this, the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor became alert. But then he thought, if it's that kid's helper, why don't I change it? Confuse them? As long as I use a great technique to seal this channel, they won't be able to communicate with each other. Although I can't seal it for too long, 3 to 5 days shouldn't be a problem. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor did as he said. He used the Blood Sea technique again and set up a seamless Milky Way sealing barrier. This barrier could directly block the outside world from communicating with the Qiyang small universe. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor shook his body and transformed into Qin Wushuang's appearance. No wonder Shun Zhao, said that the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor was good at transformation. After the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor transformed, he waited for the celestial ship to come closer. Inside the green celestial ship, the Lord of Hundred Battles stretched his body and said, "Big brother, we will reach the Qiyang small universe in 3 to 5 days. If we see the Nine Wolves Mountain, it means that we have entered their territory. Big brother, should we kill our way in or—" The Blue Dome Holy Emperor sneered and said, "Kill our way in? Do you think that with our strength, we can do whatever we want in the Qiyang Holy Emperor's territory? Didn't the Qiyang Holy Emperor die?" The Lord of Hundred Battles laughed and said, "Although the Crimson Sun Saint Emperor has perished, someone who can control such a large place is definitely not a weakling. As long as it is the Holy Emperor, we can't let our guard down. We're here to snatch things, not to fight with others. Our target is Qin Wushuang, not the Qiyang Holy Emperor's territory." Yes, Big Brother is wise. Big Brother, please tell us what should we do? Let's figure out the situation first. If the Qiyang Holy Emperor is still in charge of the Qiyang Holy Emperor's territory, we will slander Qin Wushuang and say that he usurped the Qiyang Holy Emperor's orthodoxy. If it has already changed hands, we will not say anything. We will do them a favor and ask them to help us capture Qin Wushuang. I think they will not make an enemy out of a foreign Holy Emperor for a heavenly venerable. The Blue Dome Holy Emperor's plan was perfect. Suddenly, the Blue Dome Holy Emperor's heart skipped a beat. There is something strange in front. I can feel the aura of the Holy Emperor. Did someone know that we are here and is waiting for us? Are you for real? Heavenly Sovereign of Endless Battles was stunned. Activate the sky ship and go up quickly. Let's see what is going on. The Blue Dome Holy Emperor was bold. In the nebula ahead, a figure floated in the air. The Lord of Hundred Battles observed and gasped. "Big brother, it's him. It's Qin Wushuang." What? The Qin Xiong Saint Emperor was also shocked. "Brother, are you sure you're not mistaken?" "Big brother, how can I be wrong? I'm not that stupid, am I? It's this kid, this outfit, and this expression. There is no mistake. What does this brat mean?" Blue Firmament was a little confused. It seemed that he was deliberately blocking there. Was he waiting for an enemy or someone? The Lord of Hundred Battles saw Qin Wushuang and was furious. "Big brother, isn't he delivering himself to us? It will save us the trouble of looking for him." The Blue Dome was not a brainless person. He was very calm. "No, this kid is standing there. It is a little strange. Where is his celestial ship? Where are his accomplices? Hey, big brother, his accomplices are nothing special. So what if they are ambushed? Can I do anything to you?" The Lord of Hundred Battles was full of fighting spirit. He wanted to skin Qin Wushuang alive. To be continued. If you like this work, you're welcome to come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 1029. The Blue Dome Holy Emperor was not a coward. He nodded and said, "I'll go and meet him." He jumped out of the heavenly ship and appeared in front of Qin Wushuang in a flash. He looked at him coldly and asked, "Kid, why aren't you running anymore?" Of course, that was not the real Qin Wushuang. It was the Qin Wushuang that the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor had transformed into. He thought that this person was Qin Wushuang's helper. He did not expect him to ask such a question. "What do you mean?" Shui Yin was stunned. "Don't play dumb. Let me ask you, were you the one who injured my brother, the Lord of Hundred Battles, at the Nine Luminaries?" The Blue Dome Holy Emperor said coldly, "I've been chasing you for 3,000 years. Don't think you can fool me with a few words." The Blue Dome Holy Emperor was obviously planning to rob the treasure, but he said that he was standing up for his brother. It was as if this was the only excuse that could justify his actions. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor laughed and said, "Qin Wushuang? So his name is Qin Wushuang?" This time, it was the Blue Dome Holy Emperor's turn to be stunned. "What did you say?" The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor turned back to his original appearance. He looked at the Blue Dome Holy Emperor with a cold smile and said, "Look at my appearance just now. Am I the person you want to kill?" "Who are you?" The Blue Dome Holy Emperor asked cautiously. "Don't ask me who I am. Just answer my question. If you want to kill that person, I don't think you're strong enough. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor was not exaggerating. The Blue Dome Holy Emperor could tell that the person in front of him was a Holy Emperor. Moreover, his strength was not inferior to his. Hearing his evaluation of Qin Wushuang, the Blue Dome Holy Emperor could not help but say, "Don't you think you're exaggerating?" Qin Wushuang was merely a celestial venerable. If it wasn't for the speed of the heavenly boat, I would have caught up to him long ago. To deal with him, why would I need any strength? When the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor heard this, he couldn't help but laugh. I don't know how old you are. Is that person a heavenly sovereign? Are you sure he is only at the celestial venerable realm? Ha! I really should let you meet him and see what it means to be powerful. What do you mean? The Green Dome Holy Emperor felt that there was something fishy going on here. What do you mean? Blood Cloud Holy Emperor's face flashed with hatred. He turned around and pointed at Red Sun Microcosm. Do you see that microcosm? Not long ago, it was still my territory. Now, it had already been occupied by him. Your Excellency's strength is not bad, but do you think you can defeat me? Qin Qiong sneered. How would we know if we don't fight? The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor sneered. Forget it. We are all Holy Emperor Qi practitioners. There's no need to brag. We all know how strong each other is. If we fight, both of us will suffer. Although the two Holy Emperors didn't fight, they secretly used their Holy Emperor Qi to compete with each other. After a few clashes, they found that they were evenly matched. Neither of them could do anything to the other. So, the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor sneered. Do you want to have a real fight? Since I have no home now, I don't mind having a fight with you. If I am lucky, I can snatch your heavenly boat and continue to be free. Qin Qiong smiled faintly. All right, I will believe you for now. But that kid, according to my information, is in the heavenly sovereign realm. I swear in the name of the heavenly Tao that the kid you're talking about is definitely in the Holy Emperor realm. And he is the one who snatched my territory. Is he really that powerful? Qin Qiong frowned. If Qin Wushuang was really that powerful, it would be a big problem if he could return safely after spending thousands of years to get here, let alone snatching things. He may not be that powerful himself, but he has a bow, an arrow, and Qiong Golden Body Pagoda, which is the inheritance of the Holy Emperor. Besides, he has a powerful sword. This kid is full of treasures. He is not easy to deal with. So it is really him. Qin Qiong found that the treasures described by the Blood Cloud matched Qin Wushuang perfectly. Humph, if I don't stop you and let you barge in, I can guarantee that you will die. That Qiong Golden Body Pagoda sneak attacks people. It is impossible to guard against it. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor deliberately provoked Qin Qiong. Humph, are you praising yourself or belittling me? Qin Qiong was also an arrogant person. You can block Qiong Golden Body Pagoda, but I have my ways. I can't block it. I can escape quickly. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor was very frank. Enough nonsense. What are you going to do? Although Qin Qiong couldn't accept the fact that Qin Wushuang had become the Holy Emperor, he had to face it. What else can I do? I'm going to find help. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor said dejectedly. Oh, do you have a suitable helper? Qin Qiong asked with a smile. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor's eyes lit up. They looked at each other and laughed at the same time. Qin Qiong laughed and said, "Haha, no discord, no concord. Why don't we have a drink in my sky ship, and then we can discuss how to deal with that kid." These two were both ambitious and ruthless people. Once they found that they had something in common, they would naturally collude with each other. After 3 rounds of drinks, the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor slapped his thigh and cursed. That kid is really despicable. He took advantage of his treasures to beat me up. Brother Qin Qiong, let me tell you, if we want to deal with him, the human wave tactic won't work. Only the two of us will fight. Heavenly Masters are all useless. They're useless except for sending themselves to death. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor felt that if he wanted to cooperate, he should be frank and honest. He told Qin Qiong about the battle that day in full detail. In that case, that kid's fighting style is very terrifying. Qin Xiong felt a little jealous. Why? How could a junior less than 10,000 years old be so monstrous? Isn't that so? That kid has probably inherited the orthodoxy of the Holy Emperor Qiyong. He is another monstrous genius. The blood cloud Holy Emperor sighed. Qin Xiong shook his head and said, not only the Holy Emperor Qiyong, but also Li Xianfeng. Have you heard of him? That kid is the inheritor of Li Xianfeng. Li Xianfeng? The blood cloud Holy Emperor was shocked. Is it the Holy Emperor Li Xianfeng who ventured into the chaotic primordial realm alone? That's him, isn't it? Then, the blood cloud Holy Emperor recalled the rumors about Li Xianfeng. It was said that Li Xianfeng was the one who obtained a strand of chaotic vitality from the primordial realm of chaos. That strand of chaotic vitality might not appear in an aeon. It was the essence of the primordial realm of chaos. It was the wonder of the beginning of creation. If one could obtain the primal chaos Yuan Qi, they would be able to attain the primordial chaos Yuan Qi and attain the great heavenly Tao. The supreme heavenly Tao and the chance to reach the supreme great heavenly realm were simply too great of a temptation. Although the Holy Emperor was strong, he was only at the ultimate level of the martial way. Above the peak of the great Tao, there was the supreme grand heavenly realm who firmly controlled the rules of the rules. There were only two major rules, the space-time rules and the rules of life and death. The Holy Emperor was very strong and could comprehend part of the space-time rules and the rules of life and death. However, he could not reverse space-time or fully control it. Although the Holy Emperor had the power to reverse the situation, he could not truly bring the dead back to life. The rules of life and death could only be controlled by the supreme, grand heavenly realm. It was also because of the rules of life and death that the supreme, grand heavenly realm could easily control the life and death of the Holy Emperor. They could firmly control the fate of all living beings. At this moment, countless thoughts flashed through the blood cloud Holy Emperor's mind. He looked at Qin Xiong with a burning gaze. He wanted to know why Qin Xiong was telling him all this. Qin Xiong's expression was calm. Since we want to work together, we have to be honest. I'm telling you about Li Xianfeng because I want to tell you that if you want to take him down, you have to have the determination to press forward. Even if we might be killed by him in the end, you can't be stingy. This is a risk that must be taken in order to pursue the supreme Tao of heaven. If this kid comprehends the secrets of primal chaos and attains the Tao of heaven, the first one to be slain is either you or me. The blood cloud Holy Emperor's heart thumped. If the other party was only a Holy Emperor-level genius, then the blood cloud Holy Emperor would at most not provoke him in the future. The Daluo universe was so big, it would not be easy for the other party to seek revenge on the blood cloud Holy Emperor. However, the other party had the primal chaos vital energy. What if he comprehended the primitive Tao? What if he became a supreme, grand heavenly realm? The possibility of this was very small. However, considering that the other party had reached the Holy Emperor level before 10,000 years old, it was not entirely impossible for him to reach the supreme grand heavenly realm. Such a genius was already terrifying enough as an opponent. If he became a mortal enemy, he might not even be able to sleep well. The blood cloud Holy Emperor originally wanted to have a way out, but now he knew that there was no way out. He could either kill the other party and seize the treasure, or run away like a stray dog. If the other party became a supreme, grand, heavenly realm, he would be able to see everything in the Daluo universe. At that time, there would be no escape. Qin Xiong and the blood cloud Holy Emperor looked at each other and saw the final trace of determination in each other's eyes. If they were going to do it, they would go all out. They would disregard their own lives to kill the other party. Although the risk was great, the temptation was also very obvious. If they wanted to kill the other party, the present was always the best opportunity, because every day they delayed was equivalent to giving the other party an extra day to cultivate, which meant that the other party would be stronger. The only way was to catch the other party off guard before the other party's foundation was stable. Brother Qin Xiong, I have fought with the other party before, so I am more familiar with his fighting style. If we want to defeat him, We have to come up with a plan and a set of tactics to fight side by side. Otherwise, it will be difficult to defeat him even if we fight on our own. Qin Xiong agreed. Yes, you and I have to display the effect of 1 + 1 is greater than 2, and try to settle the situation as soon as possible. Otherwise, if the battle turns into a protracted battle, it will be disadvantageous to us. In the Scarlet Sun small universe, after 3 months of rest and reorganization, everything had almost returned to its normal orbit. Although Qin Wushuang had no intention of seizing power, the Scarlet Sun small universe did not have a holy emperor at the moment, so he had to carry this heavy burden. On this day, Qin Wushuang was cultivating in the heavenly ship again. The uncontrollable restlessness of the graceful spiritual Bao beside him was very obvious. Kid, it is all thanks to you this time. 27 Heavenly Venerables. Ha! My appetite has been whetted. My appetite has been whetted. Give me another helping hand and help me escape from this graceful spiritual Bao. How about it? The Shura of Gojoseon was sealed by the Scarlet Sun Holy Emperor, and only Qin Wushuang was qualified to help him escape from the seal. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 10:30. Qin Wushuang smiled leisurely and said, Your Majesty Shura of Gojoseon, don't forget that this is the territory of the Holy Emperor Qiong. If I let you out and you behave atrociously, who will restrain you? Shura of Gojoseon didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Kid, do you think I'm such a vengeful person? Don't you hold grudges? I remember that before you met the Holy Emperor Qiong, you were someone who didn't want to suffer losses. Shura of Gojoseon sighed and said, I really don't feel any resentment about being defeated by the Holy Emperor Qiong. He is indeed stronger than me. I have killed no less than 30 Holy Emperors in my life, but in front of him, I feel like a child who has just learned to walk. The Holy Emperor Qiong, I'm convinced. These disciples of the Holy Emperor Qiong all think that the disappearance of the Holy Emperor Qiong has something to do with you. Aren't you afraid that they will vent their resentment on you? Shura of Gojoseon pretended to be angry and said, Kid, your status is so high now. Everyone believes in you. If you speak, will they dare to question you? Besides, do you think I, Shura of Gojoseon, am afraid of a few juniors? Even if they blame me for this, it's nothing. You're not afraid, but I'm worried that you will kill them in anger and have an excuse. Shura of Gojoseon was really confused by Qin Wushuang's anger. Kid, don't always think of me as such an ungentlemanly person, okay? How can you help me get out of this? Kid, you're burning the bridge after crossing the river. I've helped you for so long. Even if I don't deserve credit, I've worked hard. Besides, after I go out, I may not be able to beat you. I don't need anything, Your Majesty Shura of Gojoseon. I just want you to make a heavenly oath. As long as you swear that you will never kill anyone in the Qiong Little Cosmos, and that you will not care about anything with the disciples of the Qiong Little Cosmos, I will help you. What's wrong with that? All right, you brat. I'm scared of you. If I want to swear, then I'll swear it. What do you think I should do? The Azura King only wanted to escape this time. He really didn't have any thoughts of avenging the Scarlet Sun Saint Emperor. Moreover, he only had himself to blame for being sealed. What was there to say when he was defeated by the Holy Emperor Qiong, who was recognized as a good person by both the righteous and evil? Qin Wushuang thought for a moment and told him the contents of the oath. Shura of Gojoseon didn't hesitate this time and swore. Only then did Qin Wushuang completely trust him. After swearing the oath, Shura of Gojoseon said angrily, I say, kid, you helped me get out. You're definitely earning a lot. If my guess is correct, when the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor escapes, he will inevitably encounter the Lord of 100 Battles and his group. If the Lord of 100 Battles and his group also have a Holy Emperor, you won't be able to fight alone. Don't you need my help secretly? Although I don't have a physical body, if my soul recovers to 100%, I can still deal with the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor. This wasn't bragging. It was true that the Shura of Gojoseon couldn't defeat the Holy Emperor Qiyang. However, this didn't mean that the Shura of Gojoseon couldn't defeat a second-rate Holy Emperor like the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor. After all, the Shura of Gojoseon was also one of the best first-rate Holy Emperors in the past. It was only because he met a super abnormal Holy Emperor like Qiyang. Otherwise, an ordinary Holy Emperor wouldn't dare to fight with the Shura of Gojoseon. On this point, Qin Wushuang firmly believed it without a doubt. After all, in the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor's Sea of Blood, the Shura of Gojoseon could still devour the opponent's Holy Master as if there was no one around. From this point alone, the cultivation of the Shura of Gojoseon was definitely stronger than that of the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor. This was under the condition that he didn't have a physical body. If he had a physical body, the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor wouldn't be a match for the Shura of Gojoseon at all. Well, Your Majesty Shura of Gojoseon, I admit that what you said makes sense. Tell me, how can I help you break the seal? Qin Wushuang knew that the millions of years of sealing had suppressed some of the Shura of Gojoseon's temper. When the Shura of Gojoseon saw that Qin Wushuang had finally agreed, he smiled and said, "The method is very simple. You just need to use the Qiyang Holy Emperors, Qiyang Holy Emperors, Qiyang Holy Emperors, Qiyang Holy Emperor to perform the unique unsealing technique. I believe the Scarlet Sun Heavenly Ship must have records of this sealing technique." That's true. Let me take a look. There were too many cultivation manuals in the Scarlet Sun Heavenly Ship. All of them were the true teachings of the Scarlet Sun Holy Emperor. Qin Wushuang searched for a moment and found it. He walked over with a smile. "My luck is not bad. Are you ready?" Shura of Gojoseon said angrily, "I've been preparing for millions of years. Do you think you're ready? You, on the other hand, do your job properly. Don't make any mistakes." Don't worry. I won't joke about your freedom." Qin Wushuang actually did not have any bad feelings towards the Shura of Gojoseon. At least, although the Shura of Gojoseon's help could not be compared to his teacher, Li Xianfeng, it was actually on par with the Qiyang Holy Emperor. Especially in the early days, the graceful spiritual bow was still very helpful to Qin Wushuang. Qin Wushuang was well aware of this point. Therefore, he was still very respectful towards the Shura of Gojoseon. It was just that after interacting with the Shura of Gojoseon for a long time, they were used to that kind of teasing tone. At this moment, the graceful spiritual bow was like a person with flesh and blood, hanging high in the sky. Qin Wushuang activated the Holy Emperor's Qi according to the method of breaking the seal, and started to activate the hand gestures. Sealing the Shura of Gojoseon in the graceful spiritual bow could be said to be a pioneering work of the Holy Emperor. In order to break the seal, two elements must be met. First, one must have the power of inheritance of the Holy Emperor and the hand gestures to break the seal. The second element was that one must be an expert of the Holy Emperor's level. If one was not an expert of the Holy Emperor's level, not to mention breaking the seal, one might even suffer a backlash. Under the activation of Qin Wushuang's Holy Emperor's Qi, the graceful spiritual bow constantly emitted a dense weapon. An illusory shadow, like a phoenix that was reborn from the fire, desperately struggled to break free from the graceful spiritual bow. Boom! Suddenly, a ball of golden light surged, and the light engulfed the surroundings. Shura of Gojoseon laughed complacently. "Haha, it's done. Kid, thank you so much this time." The emotions that had been suppressed for millions of years were finally released. Shura of Gojoseon was as proud as a child, and his spirit was dancing nonstop. If he was not in the celestial ship, he would have already soared thousands of miles into the sky and roamed the universe. "Shura of Gojoseon, I think you should calm down a little. This is the celestial ship, and your spirit needs to be stabilized. You can't mess around." How could Shura of Gojoseon not know this? It was just that after being trapped for millions of years, he suddenly regained his freedom. This kind of emotion was indeed uncontrollable. Kid, can't you let me be proud for a while? Okay, you can be proud, but don't disturb the others. Also, the disciples of the Holy Emperor are all here You better not ask for a rebuff. Shura of Gojosian laughed strangely. Don't worry, I promised you that I wouldn't kill anyone, so why would I do something so treacherous? Besides, although I was sealed by old man Qiang, that old man is already dead, so why would I hate him? Speaking of which, I still have to thank him. Maybe if he didn't seal me, he would have bumped into other holy emperors who were more powerful than me and killed me directly. There aren't many holy emperors who are as kind-hearted as old man Qiang. Qin Wushuang sighed. It was because he was too kind-hearted that the holy Emperor Qiang was plotted against and died in a foreign land, right? Shura of Gojosian chuckled. That's why most bad people don't die a good death, and most good people don't live a good life. Old man Qiang was too honest and didn't guard against others. What a pity. Although Shura of Gojosian was defeated by the holy Emperor Qiang, to be honest, he still admired the holy Emperor Qiang very much. At this time, after he controlled his excitement, he wandered around the celestial ship and sighed. Old man Qiang is really generous. This celestial ship is too magnificent. Just when Qin Wushuang was about to speak, suddenly he took out the observant finger jade plate, and a strange smile spilled from the corner of his mouth. Azura King, how much of your divine soul have you recovered? About 70 to 80%. It will take at least 10 days to fully recover. 10 days. I'm afraid I can't wait that long. Qin Wushuang sighed. What? Is someone invading? Shura of Gojosian's eyes lit up. Although he did not have a corporeal body, his divine soul was powerful. Even if an elite warrior like the Holy Emperor came, he was confident that he could deal with him and even defeat him. The Blood Cloud, Holy Emperor, and the Lord of 100 Battles are colluding. This is something new. At the same time, Bao Bao ran over quickly. Boss, a celestial ship has entered the territory of the little cosmos Qiang. I suspect they are not friendly. Qin Wushuang said with a cold sneer. No need to doubt. The Blood Cloud, Holy Emperor, and the Lord of 100 Battles are colluding. What? How do they collude? Bao Bao was shocked. There's nothing strange. The Blood Cloud, Holy Emperor must have encountered the Lord of 100 Battles. When the Blood Cloud, Holy Emperor escaped, he did not have the celestial ship. Since the other party has the celestial ship, they must have at least one Holy Emperor with them. This way, we must deal with them carefully. However, Shura of Gojosian's eyebrows flashed as he revealed an eager expression. Clearly, he also had his own wishful thinking. For this matter, he had a plan. When the Holy Emperor came, this was a great opportunity to seize a corporeal body. If he could seize the corporeal body of an elite warrior like the Holy Emperor, it would be perfect. Most likely, he would need to borrow the power of Qiang Golden Body Pagoda for this matter. Qiang Golden Body Pagoda was the most ingenious weapon to deal with cautious enemies. It was much easier to use than the graceful spiritual bow. Haha, Wushuang, let's make a deal. Shura of Gojosian said with a grin. I will join hands with you, and you will help me catch a holy emperor. I need a corporeal body. Qin Wushuang said with a smile. You and I are in the same trench. This is not a problem. When the time comes, I will use the Qiang Golden Body Pagoda, and you will be in charge of the attack. Okay, but I will have to use the graceful spiritual bow. Without my divine soul in it, the graceful spiritual bow will not have any effect on you. If I use it, it will be even more powerful than before. Shura of Gojosian still did not forget to take advantage of the situation. Well said, but after we catch that Holy Emperor, his Holy Emperor divine weapon must belong to me. You don't have any problem with this, right? Shura of Gojosian said with a smile. Okay, deal. To show his sincerity, Shura of Gojosian said with a smile. I will go ahead and you will be in charge of the rear. The rest of you don't need to go out. You will only be cannon fodder. Shura of Gojosian said that the rest of the people would not be able to participate in a battle at the level of the Holy Emperor. 2 pieces of good news. Today is the end of the galaxy. Also, Old Bull's new book, Immortal Godly King, will be released at the same time. The book number is 2136336. Brothers, please support me. To be continued. If you like this book, You are welcome to come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 1031. Qin Xiong and Shui Yun, Holy Emperor, worked together and spent a few days to come up with a joint attack strategy. The two of them were both Saint Kings, so they admired each other greatly after sparring. After the successful demonstration, the two of them took the celestial ship and rushed over aggressively. Without a doubt, they no longer needed to hide anything. Their goal was clear. They wanted to kill Qin Wushuang and steal the chaos energy, as well as the Holy Emperor's divine weapon. Brother Qin Xiong, this time, we will either succeed or die trying. We will either be killed by him or kill him for his treasures. Let's first make a heavenly contract. If we get the chaos energy, we must work together and not attack each other. Otherwise, it will be troublesome even if we get it. Good, I have the same idea. The two of them actually made a heavenly oath. Qin Xiong turned around and waved his hand. Lord of 100 Battles quickly came over. Brother, let's go. In this battle, we will either succeed in seizing the treasure or be killed by him. If we don't come back in 10 days, you will take my celestial ship and leave this place. Lord of 100 Battles was not convinced. Brother, you will not lose to that kid. I don't believe that a rising star less than 10,000 years old can be strong. Qin Xiong was not like Lord of 100 Battles. He was a very opinionated person. He waved his hand and said, "Do as I say. Remember, run as far as you can. Don't even go back to the 100 Battles starfield." Lord of 100 Battles was very sad. He looked at Qin Xiong blankly, as if he had lost his backbone. He murmured, "I believe in brother. We will not lose." Shui and Holy Emperor smiled eerily. Brother of 100 Battles, the two of us Holy Emperor together only have a 50 to 60% chance of winning. If we lose and get killed, I will teach you a life-saving move. What? The Lord of 100 Battles was stunned. Even the Blue Dome Holy Emperor couldn't help but stare at the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor. Clearly, he didn't know what the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor was planning. If we lose, you have to leave immediately. They spread the news about Qin Wushuang, saying that he had obtained the true teachings of Li Xianfeng and Qiang Holy Emperor, that he possessed the primal chaos vital qi, and that he could attain the supreme position of Grand Luo. Remember, spread it as fast as you can. Hearing this, Blue Sky's eyes lit up. Good idea. This way, even if that kid kills us, there will be endless trouble in the future. The super holy emperor of the great Luo universe would come out one by one. At that time, this brat might end up like Li Xianfeng. The holy emperor chuckled sinisterly, but his eyes were filled with fanaticism. Apparently, his hatred for Qin Wushuang had penetrated deep into his bones and could not be washed away by all the water in the 3 rivers and 5 rivers. Even if he died, he wouldn't let Qin Wushuang have an easy time. Brother, just do as the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor said. Remember, 10 days, at most 10 days. If we don't come back in 10 days, don't investigate. Just run, the Blue Dome Holy Emperor said. Big brother, the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor sneered. Brother 100 Battles, this is not a joke. If we can't beat him, you will die if you go. You run and spread the news. The more people there are against Qin Wushuang, the safer you will be. As long as he is dead, you can live a peaceful life from now on, understand? The Lord of 100 Battles naturally understood this and nodded. The 2 holy emperors looked at each other and turned into rainbows, disappearing into the clouds. The two were extremely fast and arrived at the Crimson Sun microcosm in no time. After more than a month, Saint Emperor Shui Yun returned to this place again, but things had changed. The traces of him occupying this place for millions of years were completely erased in just over a month. It was truly a disgrace. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor knew that he was not popular. Force could make people submit, but it couldn't make them follow him. Now, who would listen to him in this Crimson Sun microcosm? The Blue Dome Holy Emperor knew that the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor was angry, so he quickly comforted him. Brother Blood Cloud, don't be angry. There was no point in being angry at this time. Qin Wushuang, if I don't kill him, I won't be able to rest easy. Brother Blue Dome, watch over me. I will go challenge him. Don't expose yourself. This was the strategy they had discussed. If the blue dome showed himself at the beginning, it wouldn't be effective. This time, the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor didn't dare to underestimate the enemy. He knew that he could handle both the Tao E Divine Sword and the graceful spiritual bow. However, the Qian Golden Body Pagoda was really powerful. Once he was suppressed, it would be troublesome. It was almost a situation of life and death. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor followed closely. Although he was powerful, he didn't dare to be careless in the enemy's territory. I see it. It's this place. Qin Wushuang held a map and communicated with Shura of Gojoseon through divine sense. I know. Shura of Gojoseon laughed. Should we take the initiative to attack? Or catch the turtle in the jar? Wait for him to come. He must have a helper behind him. But I've never seen his helper before, so it's not shown in the Jade Finger Disc. Shura of Gojoseon nodded. Okay, then let's wait for him. Remember, when I attack, don't attack him from both sides. When his helper comes out, you can attack him secretly. You must cooperate with my Qian Golden Body Pagoda. Whoever you shoot, I'll use Qian Golden Body Pagoda to suppress him. If there are two opponents, you must kill one or subdue the other as soon as possible. Shura of Gojoseon laughed and nodded. He had been looking forward to it for a long time. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor slowly sneaked in. At the level of the Holy Emperor, although he couldn't determine the enemy's specific location, he could still sense each other. This kind of feeling might not be clear, but he could sense many details directly. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor said coldly, "Outsider boy, you stole my property when I wasn't paying attention. Today I won't let you go." He deliberately didn't call Qin Wushuang's name. Obviously, there was a reason. If he called Qin Wushuang's name, he would be exposed. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor was very cunning, but Qin Wushuang was secretly amused. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor was so cunning, but he didn't expect that he had already known his whereabouts. Qin Wushuang activated the Purple Cloud Yin Yang Wings and pointed the Tao E Divine Sword in the air. He shouted, "Shui Yun, you dare to come again? Today, I'll send you to hell." The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor shouted angrily, "Let's see who will die first." The Blood Shadow Spear in his hand stabbed out, and a cloud of blood rain directly rolled out and sprayed toward Qin Wushuang. The two Holy Emperors were fighting in the air. "Shui Yun, if I were you, I would run away and never show up again. You showed up today because you don't know how to write the word death, right? Boy, don't be stubborn. That day, I was in a hurry and didn't take precautions. If you can defeat me today, you're good." The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor was not to be outdone. The two Holy Emperors' divine weapons clashed, and the advantage of the Tao E Divine Sword was shown. The power of each weapon was not necessarily overbearing, but it was enough to make the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor's spear feel powerless. "Boy, you have some tricks up your sleeve. Tell me, what's the relationship between you and Qiyang?" "Humph, I'll tell you after I take you down." "Haha, take me down? Are you sure you have the ability?" The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor laughed wildly. A sea of blood had begun to form around them. The smell of the sea of blood was very terrible. Once it spread, it was really fast. In a moment, the sea of blood was spreading at an unparalleled speed. "Kill!" The Green Sky Holy Emperor immediately received Shui Yun's signal. He shook his arms, and two huge balls of green air waves rotated. The green light was like a giant blade, and the cutting power was so strong that it tore open a path in the sea of blood. Moreover, the attack was clearly coming from behind Qin Wushuang. A two-sided attack. In a moment, Qin Wushuang was surrounded on both sides. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor sneered, "Boy, today is the day you die." Qin Wushuang deliberately said angrily, "Shui Yun, you're despicable. How dare you ask for help?" "Humph, a great man must be ruthless. You invaded my territory. How can you not be despicable? Today, not only will I kill you, but I will also take all of your treasures. All of your subordinates will die." Is that so?" Suddenly, an inexplicable sneer came from the void. "Who is it?" Blood Cloud Saint Emperor felt his heart skip a beat for no reason. The one who wants to kill you. The Shura of Gojoseon's voice was cold and merciless. 9 shooting sun arrows pierced through the air and directly broke open 9 long trenches in the sea of blood. Whoosh! 9 arrows into one. The 9 shooting sun arrows suddenly merged into one at a certain point and formed a ball of golden dim light. However, this dim light made people's hair stand on end for no reason. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor had a very bad premonition. At this moment, a towering ball of golden light in the sky suddenly pressed down. Cheong Golden Body Pagoda. Qin Wushuang's strongest attack since his debut was finally activated at this moment. The Cheong Golden Body Pagoda pressed down. Before the body of the pagoda hit, the tens of thousands of golden lights had already shot out a huge circle. The golden light in the circle was particularly dazzling, and this round ball of light seemed to have directly locked this space with an unbreakable giant lock. It seemed to be a void, but in fact it was a cage. Before the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor could react, he was pressed down by the Cheong Golden Body Pagoda. The golden light merged and directly sucked the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor into the pagoda. It was as if a raging giant beast had swallowed both the body and the soul. Boom! The golden light pressed down fiercely, and the aftermath was still there. Countless splashes of golden light shot out, shooting toward the Green Sky Holy Emperor. The Green Sky Holy Emperor was scared out of his wits. He had never expected that the situation of the battle would suddenly change so drastically. It turned out that they had always wanted to fight 2 against 1, but the other side had already prepared an ambush for them. This was called the mantis stalking the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. Author's note: I was asked by someone to push a book, packing the school bells and taking them away. Book number 211-2905. A bag that had been left behind in the human world since ancient times allowed Gao Xiaofan to have insight into the thoughts of the beautiful girls. Therefore, from high school to university, from the previous batch to the new batch, the school bells were packed and taken away by him one after another. If you like this work, you are welcome to come at Chidien. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 1032. The Blue Dome Holy Emperor saw the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor being swallowed by the Cheong Golden Body Pagoda with his own eyes. He suddenly realized that the golden light was already in front of him. However, this golden light alone would not be able to hurt the Holy Emperor. The Blue Dome Holy Emperor reacted faster than the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor. He turned into a green ray of light and shot towards the sky. At this moment, he knew that the longer he stayed, the closer he would be to death. Before he set off, he had thought of many possibilities, but he did not expect that he would be so vulnerable. Not only did he fail to use his tactics, but he was also countered by his opponent's tactics. The green light surged, and he had already escaped 100,000 miles away. It was just that he could walk 100,000 miles, but he still could not walk out of this trap. The divine soul of the Shura of Gojoseon, who had been lying in ambush, suddenly pounced. The Holy Emperor of the Shura of Gojoseon was best at this kind of demonic magic. This pounce was his killing move. The Blue Dome only felt that a wave of demonic fire suddenly covered the top of his head. At this moment, his body suddenly became numb, and he almost lost his footing and fell from the clouds. Qin Wushuang followed closely behind. His coordination was very skillful. The Daoi divine sword slashed fiercely at the Blue Dome. The Blue Dome was really suffering, but he could not say anything. He forcibly dodged the sword. He leaped into the green light and jumped towards the clouds. At this moment, there was no time to hesitate. Qin Wushuang's sword immediately created a whirlpool in the void, showing the mark of the yin-yang Tai Chi fish. He activated it and shot it towards the back of the Blue Dome. The Shura of Gojoseon laughed. "Watch out for my arrows." Once again, the graceful spiritual bow was activated. Whoosh! 9 shooting sun arrows once again attacked with an unstoppable force. The Blue Dome was being chased by these 2 people. It was difficult for him to dodge, let alone fight back. Qin Wushuang saw the opportunity. Qiang Golden Body Pagoda was activated again and pressed down. Qing Qiang complained incessantly. She knew that if she was pressed down by Qiang Golden Body Pagoda, she would definitely die. Gritting his teeth, he actually twisted to the side midway, wanting to avoid this wild blow. However, in this way, his speed was affected. The 9 shooting sun arrows behind him had already surrounded him. Unless one could completely sweep away these 9 shooting sun arrows, it would be impossible to escape unscathed. The Green Dome Holy Emperor was a ruthless person. He opened up a path with his fists, and a violent fist wind blasted out. This punch was not simple either. It actually smashed apart 2 shooting sun arrows. The other streams were also blocked by the defensive barrier created by the airflow. However, the graceful spiritual bow was so powerful that it still broke through the defense and hit him. The golden light exploded on the Green Dome Holy Emperor's body. However, the Holy Emperor was still the Holy Emperor. This strike was clearly unable to destroy Qin Qiang Saint Emperor's physical body. It didn't have the effect of exploding like before. However, this was no longer important. The divine soul of Shura of Gojoseon pounced again. Like a long sword, it sank into the Green Dome Holy Emperor's Dharma body. Boom! The divine souls of the 2 holy emperors started to fight in this body. Qin Wushuang did not care so much at this time. He directly activated the Qiang Golden Body Pagoda and pressed it down. The golden light pressed down, and all living things died. The entire void was completely covered by this majestic power. Whether it was the Shura of Gojoseon or the Green Dome Holy Emperor, they were all pressed down. The golden light slowly faded. Qin Wushuang held the Qiang Golden Body Pagoda in his hand. After the seal was removed, both the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor and the Green Dome Holy Emperor were pressed to the brink of death by the Qiang Golden Body Pagoda. After the seal was removed, the divine soul of Shura of Gojoseon was released. He was also exhausted. He laughed and scolded, "Boy, you are really ruthless. I thought you were going to kill me as well." Qin Wushuang laughed and said, "Do I look like such an ungrateful person? If I didn't do this, I'm afraid I couldn't suppress the Holy Emperor." You are right. This guy is really powerful. He is even more powerful than the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor. Fortunately, you are quick-witted. Otherwise, it would be really difficult to suppress him. Qin Wushuang chuckled and said, "Now, your wish is fulfilled. Which one do you want to choose between the 2 bodies?" Shura of Gojoseon laughed and said, "It's really hard to choose. The Blood Cloud Holy Emperor style is similar to mine, but the latter one has better aptitude. Then you can choose for yourself. Anyway, choose one of the 2. Shura of Gojoseon said straightforwardly, "Okay, I'll choose the latter one, but I need to cultivate in seclusion for 100 years before I can fuse them. During this period, you can't drive me away." The premise is that the 2 Holy Emperors' Holy Emperor Divine artifacts will all belong to you in exchange for your graceful spiritual bow. How about it? Is it enough? Haha, well said. Shura of Gojoseon was about to leave for seclusion when he suddenly remembered something. By the way, didn't you say that the Lord of 100 Battles came together? Why is he gone? The Lord of 100 Battles did not appear in my target area, but I don't know where he is hiding. Wushuang, it's not that I want to criticize you, but you are still a little careless. Think about it. Why did these 2 guys come here? Also, the sound demon is still in their hands. Have you ever thought that after they search the sound demon's soul, all your information will be exposed in front of others? Once the primal chaos vital energy is spread out, you will become a delicious cake coveted by everyone in the entire Great Luo universe. At that time, it won't be just 1 or 2. Do you have the confidence to deal with those strongest Holy Emperor? Qin Wushuang drew a breath of cold air. Even a wise man would make a mistake. He had considered all these things, but he had overlooked such a small detail. If he let the Lord of 100 Battles escape and spread the news everywhere, it would be troublesome. Not to mention other things. If anyone the 10 Holy Emperor level warriors came, Even if they did not lose, they would not gain any benefits. However, how could only one of them come? Once people knew that he had the primal chaos vital energy, most likely no matter where they went in the vast Great Luo universe, they would not be able to escape the fate of being hunted down. When Qin Wushuang thought of this problem, he could not help but tremble with fear. He ordered, "Bao Bao, come with me. We must find that Lord of 100 Battles." Yes. At this moment, the Lord of 100 Battles was also somewhat terrified inside the celestial ship. 7 days had passed. There was still no news. The 10-day deadline was getting closer. On this day, the Lord of 100 Battles felt somewhat uneasy. In these few days, he had also made some plans. He used his spiritual perception to instruct his trusted subordinates to remember the matters entrusted by the Green Dome Holy Emperor. Once something happened to him, they would be responsible for spreading the news to the world. The 100 Battle Heavenly Venerate was pacing back and forth in the sky ship of the Green Dome Heavenly Venerate. Heavenly Venerate, Sound Demon, who had been trapped for thousands of years, had been tortured every day. When he saw the 100 Battle Heavenly Venerate so anxious, he deliberately provoked him. "I say, if you want to escape, hurry up." "Shut up." The Lord of 100 Battles punched the Sound Demon's face. The Sound Demon was already used to being abused during this time, and his expression did not change. "If you want to kill me, do it as soon as possible. I will not resist." "Humph, you were sealed by Big Brother Green Dome. If I want to kill you, it's as easy as killing a dog." "Haha, is that so? Then try killing me." The Sound Demon was not afraid of death. Qin Wushuang searched for 6 days and still found nothing. On this day, he continued to spread out his spiritual perception and expanded the search circle. Suddenly, a voice came from the god Illumination. "Senior brother, in the northwest area, there's a well-hidden celestial ship. Please go take a look." Qin Wushuang was moved inwardly. "Okay." Qin Wushuang remembered the direction of the northwest direction and headed there. He fixed his gaze on the jade plate. Suddenly, his face lit up with joy. From this jade plate, the spiritual perception of the Lord of 100 Battles had truly appeared. "It's in the northwest, let's go." "Haha, boss, we are rich. There's also a celestial ship. Why don't you give it to me?" Bao Bao was already concerned about the spoils of war. Suddenly, a plan emerged in Qin Wushuang's mind. In the past, his teacher had left a divine skill at the last loop of the 7 deadly arrays formation. The celestial spirits and earthly fiends transformation divine skill. Until now, he had not used it much. At this time, why not use it? When he thought here, Qin Wushuang stopped his footsteps and smiled proudly. "Bao Bao, let's do it without shedding blood. Not only will we kill that Lord of 100 Battles, we can also prevent him from acting against the Sound Demon." After he had finished speaking, he transformed 3 times according to the appearance of the Green Dome Holy Emperor. Finally, he had transformed into the appearance of the Green Dome. "Wow, boss, no way, this is so cool. What kind of skill is this? I want to learn." Bao Bao exclaimed. "Let's go." Qin Wushuang had already seen the celestial ship when he descended from the clouds. It was hidden in the Milky Way and was surrounded by medium-sized whirlpools for easy concealment. That Lord of 100 Battles had been observing the changes outside all the time. Suddenly, he saw a figure drop down. It was Boss Green Dome. Only, he looked somewhat embarrassed. Without thinking, he went out to greet him. "Big brother, how is it? Where's the blood cloud Holy Emperor? Let's talk inside." Qin Wushuang waved his hand and imitated the voice of the Green Dome. Lord of 100 Battles did not doubt him and followed him inside. He saw that heavenly venerable Mo had been thrown into a corner, looking very wretched. "Big brother, where's the blood cloud Holy Emperor? Did you get the primal chaos vital chi?" Lord of 100 Battles looked very anxious. "The primal chaos vital chi is with me," Qin Wushuang said with a smile. "What about the Holy Emperor's divine weapons? Did you get them all? Is the blood cloud Holy Emperor dead?" "Ha! Well, the Holy Emperor's divine weapons are all here. Which one do you want?" "I want that Bao, but didn't Big Brother say?" The Celestial of 100 Battles was suddenly dumbfounded because he saw Big Brother Blue Sky unseal, celestial, venerable, sound demon. What did he mean? After all, Lord of Hundred Battles was not a fool. He immediately understood what was going on and was about to run away. A figure flashed outside the door, and a smiling figure blocked the door. Lord of Hundred Battles, where do you think you are going? You, Lord of Hundred Battles, asked in a hoarse voice. His pupils kept dilating because of fear. Lord of Hundred Battles, you shouldn't have broken your promise. Qin Wushuang showed his true face as he spoke. Lord of Hundred Battles immediately collapsed to the ground. Where's my big brother? Ha, your big brother. Let my boss send you to reunite with him. Bao Bao laughed evilly. Lord of Hundred Battles shouted, No, you can't kill me. If you kill me, you will regret it. Qin Wushuang said coldly, Even if I regret it, I have to kill a person like you who breaks his promise. Tonight will be the finale of the Galaxy. Brothers, please vote for the new book, The Immortal Divine King. It is rushing up the rankings. Haha. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 1033. The Lord of Hundred Battles howled in grief. Qin Wushuang, if you kill me, the news of you possessing the primal chaos vital qi will not be concealed. I have already instructed all my trusted aides. As soon as I die, they will spread the news across the entire great Luo universe. Haha, just wait for the endless pursuit. The Lord of Hundred Battles was also swift and fierce. Knowing that he would die for sure, he self-destructed. Carrying that kind of crazy curse, the entire heavenly boat started to shake and could not calm down for a long time. The sound demon was extremely ashamed. Young master, I went against your order. Sound demon, I am sorry. That Green Dome Holy Emperor is powerful and not someone you can deal with. Did the Hundred Battle Heavenly Exalt really spread the news? The sound demon nodded with a miserable expression. I think most likely. These few days, he was in a constant state of anxiety and spent each day in fear. I think he must have a backup plan. His hatred for us is extremely strong. Isn't that still a dead end? Bao Bao appeared to be disdainful. Qin Wushuang said with a solemn expression, Get ready, we must leave. Although this guy's words before his death cannot be trusted completely, we must be prepared. If the world knows that I have the primal chaos vital qi, I am afraid I will not have a peaceful life in the future. After meeting up with Shura of Gojoseon at top speed, Qin Wushuang and Shura of Gojoseon discussed for a moment. The Shura of Gojoseon gave a long sigh. As I expected, we still missed this move. Wushuang, this situation will be very serious. It's highly possible that even your homeland, the Tianxian land, will be implicated. Qin Wushuang nodded. For the time being, there was nothing he could do. Shura of Gojoseon said, Wushuang, there's only one person at the moment. Conceal your identity and don't let anyone find you. The great Luo universe is so big, it's not easy to find a person. This was true. With Qin Wushuang's cultivation, if he really hid and did not appear, it would be very difficult to find him. Even the strongest Holy Emperor would not be able to help. However, even if Qin Wushuang could hide easily, what about the Tianxian land? What about the 9 luminaries? What about Scarlet Sun Microcosm? If people knew that these territories were related to Qin Wushuang, they would definitely come to harass him. When the time came, these places would naturally be implicated. With Qin Wushuang's personality, he would take responsibility for his own actions. It was definitely not his style to implicate others. Although he did not obtain the primal chaos chi, he had inherited it from his master. Shura of Gojoseon didn't have a good solution for the time being, so he could only continue to go into seclusion to fuse with his physical body. It was late at night. Qin Wushuang paced in the grass and looked at the boundless sky, but his heart was at a loss. This time, he had really encountered a thorny problem. Husband, are you worried about the primal chaos chi? Yes, I've thought about it. There are only 3 choices. First, find a place to hide. This way, I can protect myself, but I will definitely implicate others. Second, give up the primal chaos chi. This way, I will have let down my master, who sacrifices life to obtain this thing. Third, what's the third choice? Morong soon knew that this third choice might be the most important. The third choice is for me to take the primal chaos chi and go to the primal chaos realm to announce to the world that those who want to obtain the primal chaos chi can compete in the primal chaos realm. In this way, even the great Luo Supremes would support an open and above-board fight. Morong Su fell silent. If it was this choice, it would be very dangerous. The primal chaos realm was not a place where ordinary people could go. Husband, have you made up your mind? Qin Wushuang nodded. Su apart from this, do you think I have any other choice? Morong Su thought for a moment and nodded. Yes, no matter what decision you make, I will support you. I only have one request, and that is to ask you to take me with you. We, mother and son, must be with you at all times. Yes, of course. With the celestial ship around, I believe that it will ensure your safety. However, if I fail to assimilate the primal chaos chi, then we will fail together. Even if we are reduced to ashes, we will never leave each other. Morong Su's voice was not loud, but her tone was unusually resolute. Inwardly, Qin Wushuang was moved as he held his beloved wife's hand tightly. Su although I have encountered many bumps and twists along the way, there is always an unexpected turning point for each major change. I believe that this time will not be an accident. I firmly believe that I can reach this place smoothly. The same goes for the path of assimilating the primal chaos chi. Those who dare to go to the primal chaos realm and plot against my holy emperor, I will make them regret it for the rest of their lives. After making up his mind, Qin Wushuang explained everything to Shura of Gojoseon without hesitation. He also asked Shura of Gojoseon to return to the Tianxian land and take care of it. Shura of Gojoseon had never been convinced. This time, he could not help but say with admiration, "Little Wushuang, the first time you got the graceful spiritual bow, I knew you were not an ordinary person. Only at that time, I never thought that you could reach this step. I must say that your decision is very great. If you don't succeed, you will die trying. The path of an elite warrior should have such determination. I support you. Don't worry, with me, Shura of Gojoseon here, I will not let anyone touch the Tianxian land." Although it would take a long time to return to the Tianxian land, the future fight for the primal chaos chi would certainly take tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even millions of years. After giving the Green Dome Holy Emperor's heavenly ship to Shura of Gojoseon and sending him off, Qin Wushuang made arrangements for the Scarlet Sun Little Cosmos. Overall, the Scarlet Sun Little Cosmos was the safest place. Because the Scarlet Sun Little Cosmos was messed with by the Blood Cloud Holy Emperor, there were many things waiting to be done. There was nothing for the enemy to threaten. Qin Wushuang did not waste any time. After entrusting the God Illumination Heavenly Warrior, he left with his family. The God Illumination Heavenly Warrior knew that the situation was difficult. He could only silently bless Qin Wushuang. Either he died or he achieved the immortal Great Tao. For some reason, the God Illumination Heavenly Warrior firmly believed that his senior brother, whom he had not known for long, could create a miracle. A person who could cultivate to the level of the Holy Emperor within 10,000 years. What reason was there not to believe that he could integrate the primal chaos chi and achieve the immortal Great Tao? 3,000 years. It had been 3,000 years since Qin Wushuang left the Scarlet Sun Little Cosmos. However, he had only walked a small part of his journey. The primal chaos realm was in the source of the universe. In these 3,000 years, Qin Wushuang's name had spread throughout the great Luo universe. Now, there was almost no corner that did not know that there was a genius called Qin Wushuang who had reached the level of the Holy Emperor at 10,000 years old. This person also had the primal chaos chi. There were at least tens of thousands of holy emperors who had heard the news, including those recognized experts. The top 100, the top 10, any name among them was enough to shock the entire great Luo universe. Now, these people flocked out. They only paid attention to one person, Qin Wushuang. Firstly, they wanted to see what this genius who had broken through to the level of the Holy Emperor at 10,000 years old looked like. Secondly, the primal chaos Qi was really enviable. However, 3,000 years had passed. This Qin Wushuang seemed to have disappeared from the great Luo universe. After the brief appearance of the Scarlet Sun Little Cosmos, Qin Wushuang never appeared again. Various versions of guesses were bubbling in the great Luo universe. Some people said that he was cultivating in seclusion, preparing to comprehend the immortal Great Tao. Some people said that he had returned to his hometown, the Tianxian continent. Some people said that there was no such person as Qin Wushuang. However, the core theory was that Qin Wushuang had returned to the Tianxian continent. This made the Tianxian continent gradually become the focus. However, when the Holy Emperor of the nearby Little Cosmos arrived at the Tianxian continent, the Shura of Gojoseon also arrived. Naturally, it was impossible for an ordinary Holy Emperor to compete with the Shura of Gojoseon. Under the persuasion of the Shura of Gojoseon, these Holy Emperor could only tactfully retreat. However, if there was a first, there would be a second. In the next few thousand years, the nearby Holy Emperor came every 2 or 3 days. However, the domineering power and strength of the Shura of Gojoseon made these people return empty-handed. After tens of thousands of years of fighting, no one could get any benefits from the Shura of Gojoseon. Just as some Holy Emperor were preparing to join forces, a piece of news that shocked all the Holy Emperor experts spread. Qin Wushuang had appeared. Qin Wushuang had made a public appearance and announced to the world that he indeed possessed the primal chaos vital energy and had reached the edge of the primal chaos realm. In the name of the primal chaos vital energy, he invited all the Holy Emperor experts to spar. This action seemed elegant, but it was actually a hidden move. The Holy Emperor was completely dumbfounded. This Qin Wushuang was indeed a good move. Calling out to the world, sparring, and sage emperors practicing martial arts sounded very elegant, but in fact, it was telling the sage emperors of the world to come find him in the primordial realm and not to disturb his territory. Should they go or not? Of course they had to go, and they had to go quickly. If they were late, they would lose the opportunity. In a certain ethereal place of the great Luo universe, 3 sage-like elders were in the clouds. The white clouds were the praying mats, and the sky was the chessboard. 2 were playing chess, and 1 was watching from the side. At first glance, the 3 elders seemed to be one person. Looking again, it was indeed 3 people. Looking carefully, it was as if these 3 people were the entire world, the entire great Luo universe. They were unfathomable. Interesting. We have been lonely for many eons, right? Finally, an interesting chess piece has appeared on the Heavenly Tao's chessboard. It is completely different from before. Let's see if he can jump out of this chessboard and play the Heavenly Tao's chess with us. This was said by one of the elders who was playing chess. The other 2 stroked their beards and smiled, nodding their heads. Obviously, they felt the same way. More than 1,000,000 years ago, there was also such a restless chess piece. Unfortunately, his fortune was too shallow. If I remember correctly, it was a Xinfeng, right? This Qin Wushuang is his disciple. Do you think that the cycle of Heavenly Tao is predestined? Yes. If it is not predestined, it is not just us 3 brothers who have been lonely since the creation of the great Luo universe. The 3 of them spoke one after another, but they seemed to be in a good mood. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 1034. Inside the primal chaos realm, Qin Wushuang had been cultivating in seclusion for 3,000 years. In these 3,000 years, Qin Wushuang was as calm as an ancient well, without the slightest ripple, concentrating on comprehending the supreme heavenly Tao. The vastness of the primal chaos realm greatly shook his soul. Suddenly, Qin Wushuang opened his eyes, revealing a playful smile. Are they here? Outside the primal chaos realm, the first batch of Holy Emperor experts to arrive had already reached the periphery. Qin Wushuang's figure suddenly flashed, disappearing from the primal chaos realm. It's here. That kid, he didn't trick us, did he? Yeah, this damned place is full of danger. Why would he trick us into coming here? Humph! If he's not here, don't blame us for being ruthless. Let's go back, find the Tianxin continent, and destroy it. Everyone calm down. That Qin Wushuang dared to let us come. He must have something to rely on. Don't panic. Yeah, it's a very elegant thing to do. Even if we can't get the primal chaos Yuan Qi, it'll be more interesting to see the Holy Emperor compare notes. If there's a ranking battle, it'll be even more interesting. Humph, this is probably that kid's trick. He wants us Holy Emperor to fight each other, so he can sit back and enjoy the fruits of our labor. That can't be, right? There are so many Holy Emperor in the world. Even if we get injured in a duel, it won't help him at all. Don't tell me we're all going to die together. These Holy Emperor experts did not dare to lower their guard in the primal chaos realm. They circled around the periphery, not daring to enter rashly, for fear of meeting Qin Wushuang's enemy. Suddenly, a patch of primal chaos, Qi, surged in the periphery, and Qin Wushuang's figure appeared, seeming both real and illusory at the same time. Everyone, you're not slow. Do you want to come in first, or wait for the other Holy Emperor to arrive? When the Holy Emperor saw Qin Wushuang, their expressions became complicated. A few impatient people began to throw glances at each other, wanting to swarm up. Qin Wushuang smiled faintly. Everyone, I'm not mocking you. If you have any devious ideas, I advise you not to. Ganging up or taking turns to fight, it's up to you. You might be able to defeat me, but the primal chaos Yuan Qi is in my hands. If I push it to the limit, the primal chaos Yuan Qi will disperse, and all of you will be reduced to ashes. Even though he had never witnessed the might of the primal chaos Yuan Qi, he had heard of it. Qin Wushuang's words had wiped out all their crooked thoughts in one fell swoop. If you want to engage in crooked practices, you should stop while it's still early. At this moment, the Holy Emperor who were lacking in strength felt a little dejected. If they were to compete for the chaotic Qi in an open competition, they would have no chance at all. Qin Wushuang did not waste any more time with them. His figure flashed and disappeared again. In fact, he had only come out to buy time. Now he was no longer a loss, as he was at the beginning when he merged with the chaotic Qi in the realm of primal chaos. This was a good sign. What he needed now was time. As long as time allowed, he believed that he could create another miracle. Holy Emperor experts from all corners of the Daluo universe continued to swarm over. Outside the primordial realm, there were more and more of them. At first, there were only a few dozen, then hundreds and thousands, and finally tens of thousands. Almost all the Holy Emperor experts in the Daluo universe who were known by their names had rushed out. These experts had used all their means and finally arrived. Qin Wushuang knew that the primordial realm was indeed bustling with noise and excitement. He leisurely appeared and said, "Everyone, I invited all of you here for the sake of elegance. If the harmony between all of you is damaged because of this, it will be hard to explain. I know what you're thinking. You are all here for the primal chaos Yuan Qi. That's right, I only have one strand of it every aeon. What do you think? How should we distribute them? Of course, it's a martial arts competition. Only by defeating everyone can it be justified. Obviously, the weaker Holy Emperor experts were making a fuss. It was obviously impossible to defeat everyone. Qin Wushuang did not refute. He smiled and said, "The primal chaos Yuan Qi is in my hands. If you can choose the strongest person to fight with me, the primal chaos Yuan Qi will belong to him. If not, the primal chaos Yuan Qi will still belong to me. What if it's a draw? If we fight to the death, how can there be a draw?" Qin Wushuang said coldly. The tens of thousands of Holy Emperor experts looked at each other. Only the strongest person could fight with him? This condition seemed a little harsh. However, the primal chaos Yuan Qi was in his hands. If they fought for it, it seemed that he had an ultimate trump card. At worst, they would all die together. With so many Holy Emperor experts dying with him, he would not lose out. Qin Wushuang, do you dare to swear a heavenly Tao oath? Otherwise, if we fight to the death, will you benefit in the end? These people did not object to Qin Wushuang's suggestion, but they were worried that Qin Wushuang would change his mind. Qin Wushuang said indifferently, if you want to swear a heavenly Tao oath, everyone has to do it. If the oath is only for me, it obviously won't work. Everyone has to be bound, then there is order. Of course. However, it's too harsh for so many of us to be the first. We will choose 7 people to fight with you. There will be 8 of us in total. In the end, we will fight in pairs. The first person will get the primal chaos Yuan Qi. How about it? Qin Wushuang looked at the tens of thousands of holy emperor experts around him. He knew that it would not be easy to decide the 7 strongest. He smiled and said, then how do you plan to decide the 7 strongest? Galactic War, Millennium War. This is the only way to decide the strongest among the Holy Emperor experts. Anyway, for the sake of obtaining the primal chaos Yuan Qi, I believe that no one will mind staying here for tens of thousands of years, right? Hee. I'm afraid that you will not come out until 100,000 years have passed. Qin Wushuang sneered. That's our business. You don't have to worry about it. All right. Then you decide yourselves. When the top 7 are decided, then come and talk to me. Qin Wushuang said and left, returning to the primordial realm. These tens of thousands of people were all Holy Emperor experts. If they did not fight, no one would admit defeat. Except for a few who knew their limits, everyone had the urge to give it a try. After all, the primal chaos Yuan Qi was too attractive. It was not completely impossible for them to compete for the top 7. If they were lucky, it was indeed extraordinarily difficult to determine the top 7 among several tens of thousands of Saint Kings. Just to decide on the plan, it took a full 100 years. After much debate, they finally finalized the constitution. When it was time to fight, the strength of each side was in a stalemate. Once the fight started, it would be difficult to determine the winner for decades, or even centuries. Another 3,000 years passed, and only the top 5,000 were decided among the tens of thousands of Holy Emperor experts. When it came to the top 5,000, it was much easier to organize. Batch after batch, the competition finally reached the final 600th place. 5,000 years had already passed by. The closer it was to the end, the stronger the strength. These Holy Emperor experts now knew what it meant to ride a tiger and have no way to back down. They were fighting for their lives here, but Qin Wushuang was free inside, comprehending the supreme great Tao. But what could they do? Now, even if they did not want to fight, they did not have the face to back out. If they backed out now, they would be seen as cowards. Time passed, and before they knew it, another 8,000 years had passed. Suddenly, one day, everyone felt that the outside of the primordial realm was suddenly filled with colorful clouds. All kinds of strange phenomena suddenly appeared, causing everyone's heart to palpitate. A deep crack suddenly appeared at the entrance of the primordial realm, as if a door was slowly opening. All the Holy Emperor experts stared at this strange phenomenon, unable to take their eyes off it. The crack continued to expand, as if it was a huge gap in the universe. With a crashing sound, the gap collapsed from the middle, revealing a huge hole. A huge abyss appeared in front of everyone. The primordial realm was completely open. Seeing this shocking scene, everyone was dumbfounded. Oh no, did Qin Wushuang escape? Someone shouted. That kid is slippery. Maybe he really did escape. When someone started to jeer, there would definitely be a second person who would respond. The continuous jeering caused the scene to become chaotic. Those Holy Emperor experts who had failed the competition but did not leave took the opportunity to clamor and squeeze in like a hive. For a moment, the order was completely out of control. Tens of thousands of Holy Emperor experts turned into streaks of light and rushed into the huge hole. A huge heavenly ship appeared in front of everyone. That's the Scarlet Sun heavenly ship. Those with sharp eyes recognized it. Not bad, good eyesight. This is indeed the Scarlet Sun heavenly ship. In the void, an ancient voice rang in everyone's ears like a great bell. Qin Wushuang. The crowd was in chaos, all looking at the heavenly ship in shock. Why aren't you fighting outside? What are you doing here? Qin Wushuang, don't play tricks. If you know what's good for you, quickly show yourself and hand over the chaos Yuan Qi. If you want to fight, we can't let you hide here alone to comprehend the chaos Yuan Qi. That's not fair. Yes, it's not fair at all. You're comprehending the great Tao here, and we're fighting outside. What's fair about this? Qin Wushuang smiled faintly. Fair? Everyone, the heavenly Tao, is clear, and it's never biased. What you call fairness is just your selfish desires, and not the true fairness of the heavenly Tao. Selfish desires. That's right, we have selfish desires. Don't you? If not, why are you occupying the chaos Yuan Qi and not willing to hand it over? That's right, you make it sound nice. If you're pure, then hand it over. Qin Wushuang couldn't help but laugh. Hand it over? Why should I? Is this primal chaos Yuan Qi your private property? Is it yours? Qin Wushuang's series of questions hit their hearts. Give me a reason to hand it over. Then give me a reason for not handing it over. What right do you have to possess it? Qin Wushuang smiled proudly. What right do I have to possess it? Because I already possess it. This is the heavenly Tao. You don't possess it. This is also the heavenly Tao. Everyone's opportunities are different. You didn't have it in the past, and you won't have it in the future. At this point, Qin Wushuang's figure suddenly turned into countless clones like a storm, flashing in and out of the primordial realm. To be continued. If you like this work, you're welcome to come to Qidian. Come to vote. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1035. Exalted Celestial Phenomenon. All the Holy Emperor experts suddenly fell silent at this moment. Exalted Celestial Phenomenon. Qin Wushuang had actually executed the Exalted Celestial Phenomenon. Everyone's fanatical emotions seemed to have been splashed with cold water at this moment, and they immediately sobered up. They realized that the dream had ended. Chaos Qi was ultimately just a dream that they could only yearn for, but could never realize. The true fortune of geniuses would always belong to geniuses. In the exalted celestial palace, the green-clothed old man among the three exalted grand heavenly immortals suddenly paused the chess piece in his hand and laughed leisurely. Interesting. This is too interesting. Look, this chess piece that knows its place has finally jumped out of the box. We're no longer alone. This alternative is indeed an alternative. How rare. How many calamities have we waited for? Big brother, do you still remember clearly? The blue-clothed old man asked. Who cares how many calamities there are? It's time for us to make our appearance. From today onwards, there will be one more person who calls us brothers. Isn't this worth celebrating? It's time to support him. The three old men laughed heartily and disappeared from the exalted celestial palace in a flash of light. Qin Wushuang's exalted celestial phenomenon earlier had intimidated everyone present. After withdrawing the exalted celestial phenomenon, Qin Wushuang returned to his previous incarnation and said indifferently, Everyone, the heavenly Tao, will not change. This chaos Qi was obtained by my master, Li Xianfeng, back then. For this, he didn't hesitate to sacrifice his life. My disciple inherited his legacy. This is fate. This is the heavenly Tao. Among all of you, there were 366 people who pursued my master back then. At this point, Qin Wushuang's voice suddenly turned cold. The heavenly Tao's justice lies in the fact that every drink and every bite is predetermined. Therefore, all 366 of you are here, without a single one missing. Today, I will return the karma that belongs to all of you. The faces of the Holy Emperor who had participated in the pursuit of Li Xianfeng changed drastically, including the Holy Emperor who was ranked very high. As this thought flashed through their minds, all of them turned into streaks of light and fled. 366 streams of light. The momentum could be said to be extremely majestic. Qin Wushuang didn't even look at it. He casually tapped with his fingertips, and a faintly discernible network flashed in the air. Bang! 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 One after another, the sound of explosions could be heard. Not long after, the 366 holy emperors were all caught in the giant net. They swayed in the air like stars swaying in the bright galaxy. Qin Wushuang, since you have achieved the great Tao, you should not take revenge for personal reasons. You don't even have the slightest demeanor of a grand heavenly overlord. That's right. At the end of the day, you're just an upstart who's intoxicated by success. Supreme Grand Luo, you're not worthy. Who says he's not worthy? A loud voice suddenly rang out. In the clouds, it was as if a crack had opened in the sky. 3 figures appeared in front of everyone with a whoosh. Supreme Grand Luo, all the holy emperors knelt down when they saw the 3 of them. All of you have spoken rudely and disrespected Supreme Grand Luo. That is disrespecting the heavenly Tao. Supreme Grand Luo is the heavenly Tao. The heavenly Tao belongs to the heavenly Tao. Whether it's killing or rewards, everything is fixed. The holy emperors were all speechless. The Supreme Grand Luo's words were equivalent to sentencing them to death. Even if he was unwilling, even if he was angry, there was nothing he could do. The green-robed old man waved his sleeve. The giant net completely disappeared as if it had never appeared. It was as if it had been erased and never existed in this world. The heavenly Tao's ability was extremely powerful. The green-robed old man smiled and said, "The 3 of us old men can finally slack off. In this Grand Luo universe, the 3 of us are lazy. We're all like sheep and neglect management. Now that you've appeared, little brother, you've removed a lot of trouble for us." Haha, big brother's right. Brother, you're the Supreme Grand Luo who has truly achieved the heavenly Tao with the human Tao after the chaos was created. Congratulations. Eldest brother, 3rd brother, shouldn't we invite our little brother to play in our territory? The green-robed old man smiled and said, "My 2 brothers, you're too tactless. Brother Wushuang has cultivated in the chaotic realm for so long. There must be many worldly ties that need to be severed." Yes. Brother Wushuang. The 4 of us are brothers in the future. Our territory is also your territory. Wushuang. Remember, we live in the Grand Luo Heavenly Palace. After the 3 figures finished speaking, they disappeared. Qin Wushuang looked at the 3 of them, leaving, and smiled. He understood tacitly. Supreme Grand Luo could see through any minute matter in the Grand Luo universe with a glance. He was omnipotent. There was no need to ask where the Grand Luo Heavenly Palace was. The remaining Holy Emperor felt awkward. Each of them bowed to the ground and begged for forgiveness. After all, they had been extremely rude to Qin Wushuang earlier. Qin Wushuang waved his hand. "I won't bicker over some conflicts when you're trying to comprehend the heavenly Tao. Thank you." As if receiving amnesty, those holy emperor were overjoyed at the unexpected good news and ran away like a wisp of smoke. Boss, Bao Bao and Lone scuttled out from the heavenly ship. Morong Su had tears at the corner of her eyes. Indeed, she would remember this scene for eternity. It was not eternal, but it was better than eternity. Indeed, the Supreme Grand Luo possessed remarkable abilities. Crossing the space took only a blink of an eye. Qin Wushuang took everyone and left the primordial realm. They returned to the Tianxian land. The Tianxian land was already boiling. This was the eternal pride of the Tianxian land. Up to this point, even if the Tianxian land was lying alone in the most conspicuous place of the great Luo universe, no one would dare to touch it. No one even dared to approach it. Who would dare to touch the homeland of Qin Wushuang? The Supreme Grand Luo, on the side of the Tianxian land, the heavenly mysterious 7 disciples also advanced by leaps and bounds. Naturally, Qin Wushuang did not spare any effort to nurture them. In less than 100,000 years, the heavenly mysterious 7 disciples had all become heavenly warriors. Qin Wushuang had turned stone into gold for Li Bai and made him the holy emperor of the Sky Martial Arts sect. The 9 luminaries had been given to Shura of Gojoseon and the Sound Demon. With the existence of an elite warrior like Shura of Gojoseon, who had ambitions for hegemony, of course it would not be a problem to open up new territories. In the Qiyang Little Cosmos, Qin Wushuang supported that heavenly warrior god and gave him the Qiyang Golden Body Pagoda. It could be counted as returning the favor to the Holy Emperor of the Qiyang Little Cosmos. Under Qin Wushuang's nurturing, it would not be a problem for the heavenly warrior god to ascend to the Holy Emperor stage. Due to the karma with Qin Wushuang, the Qiyang Little Cosmos also had astonishing rallying power. Under the hard work of the Holy Emperor, the Qiyang Little Cosmos also became more prosperous with each passing day. Of course, Qin Wushuang's family followed Qin Wushuang. Qin Wushuang accepted the suggestion of the three great supreme Grand Luo warriors to build the unparalleled Great Luo Palace in the Great Luo universe. They would be in charge of all worldly affairs. Qin Wushuang knew that those three big brothers had thrown away their responsibilities and preferred leisure. However, Qin Wushuang was not someone who preferred leisure. Naturally, he was willing to take on this task. On the other hand, Qin Lianshan, Qin Xiu, and the others did not feel comfortable staying at the unparalleled Great Luo Palace. They preferred to return to the Tianxian land and hang out with the people of the Qin clan. This was the most suitable life for them. Of course, Qin Wushuang would not stop them. After all, the heavenly Tao was boundless and the universe was indestructible. They were also immortal existences and did not have any worries. As for Yang Yi, the disciple of the unparalleled Great Luo Palace, this little girl had outstanding talent. She also received Qin Wushuang's nurturing. In about 500,000 years, she had ascended to the Holy Emperor stage. She had expanded her territory and became the first Holy Emperor. Her reputation had already surpassed many veteran Holy Emperors. Bao, Lone, and the others were people who were unwilling to be left out. Naturally, they were unwilling to do nothing under the protection of Qin Wushuang. They also did not stay long at the unparalleled Heavenly Palace and traveled around. Before Yang Yi had broken into the Holy Emperor stage, Bao had become the first super elite warrior under Qin Wushuang to reach the Holy Emperor stage. Lone had only reached the Holy Emperor stage after 1,000,000 years. The two bloodlines of the immemorial Azure Dragon were on par with Lone in terms of talent. All of them had great fortune and finally reached the Holy Emperor stage. Among these divine beasts, Fire Kylan was the last to break through. Of course, Qin Wushuang did not have the leisure to wander around. He still had an important mission to complete. After struggling for all these years, in fact, his teacher Li Xianfeng had paved the path for him. After taking care of those worldly things, Qin Wushuang focused on comprehending the heavenly Tao and breaking through the great rules of life and death. He started to prepare for Li Xuanfeng's resurrection. To Qin Wushuang, it was enough for Li Xianfeng to have a trace of consciousness that was not destroyed. Since the great Luo martial artist possessed great power, as long as a trace of consciousness was not destroyed, he could nurture it and gather the divine soul again. Only, it was extremely difficult to find a physical body. Qin Wushuang traveled the world and picked the tens and thousands of spiritual roots of the great Luo universe. He reconstructed Li Xuanfeng's golden body and used his own flesh and blood as a medium to nurture a golden body. This was also to remember Li Xuanfeng's virtue of inheriting the bloodline. Now, it was his duty to repay his teacher. After spending 100,000 years, he finally revived Li Xianfeng successfully. He looked just like the past. When the heavenly mysterious 7 disciples saw Li Xianfeng again, they found it unbelievable. Their teacher's appearance had not changed in the slightest. They could not help but admire the methods of the great Luo martial artist. Naturally, Li Xianfeng was deeply moved. Indeed, he had not expected this legacy disciple. Sure enough, everything was predetermined. Li Xianfeng returned to the body of the Holy Emperor and traveled the great Luo universe. He was extremely free and unfettered. Time flew by, and in the blink of an eye, 1,000,000 years had passed. Although the entire great Luo universe did not change much, to a plain like the Tianxian land. Many cycles of merciless time had passed. For those clansmen of the Qin clan, besides those who had attained the heavenly supreme Tao stage, most of them were still alive. The rest had become the dust of history and were sleeping in the sacrificial valley. On this day, Qin Wushuang brought his wife back to the old haunt. When they were traveling the eastern sea, they saw a fiery red, beautiful figure flying over from the surface of the eastern sea. This woman had a beautiful appearance, yet she was dressed as a man. 1,000,000 years of time did not seem to have left many traces on her body. When she saw Qin Wushuang, this woman was stunned at first. Then she chuckled. "Wushuang, little sister Murong, miss me Jia. I didn't expect that after 1,000,000 years, you still have the same graceful bearing." Clearly, this Mijia was also at the heavenly supreme Tao stage. Only, judging from her personality, she was still energetic and alone. It seemed that she had not married herself off. Murong Su held Mijia's arm lightly and asked kindly, "Sister Mijia, in these 1,000,000 years, you really did not change at all. Did you marry yourself off?" Mijia said casually, "What's so fun about marrying? The best man is by your side, little sister Suer. Ha ha, if I can't find someone as good as him, I will not marry." After she finished speaking, she shot a glance at Qin Wushuang with ridicule. "Wushuang, you're now the great Luo paramount warrior. It's really hard to see you. Do you still remember that girl who applied medicine to you in the Bull Valley?" Qin Wushuang was moved inwardly. "You mean Ruolan? Ha ha, you do remember. A while ago, she came to find me. She seemed to want to return something to you. Didn't she go to the Wushuang Palace?" Qin Wushuang shook his head. "She didn't go." Murong Su asked with concern, "Is little sister Ruolan all right?" "She is all right. She has also become a master god now. However, although this girl looks soft and weak, she has a heavy heart. I feel that in her heart, there seems to be something that she can't let go of." Speaking of this, she shot a meaningful glance at Qin Wushuang again. Qin Wushuang could not help but be stunned. He noticed that the two girls' eyes were focused on his face at the same time. There was a kind of friendly and mischievous smile on their faces. Murong Su suddenly said leisurely, "Brother Wushuang, the heavenly Tao is eternal. We can't let the regret of the two sisters be eternal, right?" Mi Jiao was stunned and looked at Murong Su in disbelief. This was no longer a hint. Qin Wushuang's heart rippled. He looked at his lovely wife and then at Mi Jia. The moment the three of them exchanged glances, the heavenly Tao incarnation of the peerless great heavenly God blushed like a mortal. The 13-month-long journey has finally come to an end. Brothers and sisters, thank you for your companionship. Although the Milky Way has arrived, the journey continues. The Milky Way has now entered the immortal God King space. Welcome to a new journey. Old Bull's new book, Immortal God King. Book number 2136336. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. To be continued. If you like this work, you're welcome to come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 1036. Regarding Xinghe, there were too many memories and too many thanks. Now, in the ending, no matter what, I have to say again, thank you to all the friends who supported Xinghe. No matter if it was clicks, subscriptions, gifts, or support in other ways, Old Nyo's gratitude to you will always be buried in my heart. The only people I don't want to thank are those immoral people who pollute the page with vicious words and show their immorality. I can even tolerate other people's attacks on me, but I can't tolerate those who attack my family and friends. Of course, I shouldn't say such disappointing words in the ending. Let's talk about some things that are final. Firstly, Xinghe's results were not bad. No matter if it was high or average, it was the best book in Old Nyo's history. Secondly, there were more than 20 alliance leaders. This was an honor that many works couldn't get. Thirdly, there was a crown in the evaluation. At Qidian, there were no more than 50 books that had a crown in the history. Fourthly, during the new book period, Xinghe won the first place in the monthly votes for new books with a huge advantage. It stayed on the monthly votes list for about 10 months, maintaining enough competitiveness. There were many other honors, too many to mention. Obviously, old Niu didn't get all these achievements by himself. Similarly, he couldn't do without the support of many friends. Here, he especially wanted to thank the warm-hearted deputy editor, Chen Siyuan. His contribution to Xinghe sometimes made old Niu feel ashamed. If Xinghe was old Niu's son, then Chen Siyuan was at least his godfather. Of course, there were many lovely people, including the deputy editor, the group manager, and the YY manager. Every one of them, in many moments, made old Niu feel what was called warmth. Old Niu was really grateful. Thank you for your contribution to Xinghe. Xinghe was more dazzling because of you. Of course, there was no banquet that didn't end. It was finally time for the Xinghe Dao banquet to end. Old Niu's heart was filled with sadness, because old Niu knew that Xinghe's ending meant that he had to send away a large number of book friends. No matter how wonderful old Niu's new book was, only a part of it would stay. If Xinghe was old Niu's eldest son, he had already married and started a family, living a stable life. Then the new book, Immortal King, was the second son who had just been born. He needed more care and attention. If you feel that old Niu's banquet is not bad, you don't have to leave. You can just change to another banquet. Immortal Godly King, book number 2136336. Heaven and earth can be destroyed, but only I can't. This is an undying God king. The genius Ren Songqiong was unable to protect his family during the calamity. With deep regret and unwillingness, he was reborn 5 years ago. The tragic fate of his previous life had taken a turn for the better. The beginning of a new book was in the mode of rebirth, which was not unusual. However, he believed that Old Cow's story framework and subsequent content were worth looking forward to. If you like it, please follow me. The new book's ranking will begin immediately. If you still support Old Cow, please lend me your recommendation tickets and quickly come to my aid to push Immortal Divine King up. Immortal God King, book number 2136336. You can find this book from the author information in Star River, or you can find it through the book number. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Qidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 1037. There are some things that should be said. First of all, the ending. Li Xianfeng was indeed old Niu's mistake. Now, it had been revised in the ending chapter. The content of reviving Li Xianfeng was added, and some hints were added to the ending. Everyone could read it without worry. There would be no new fees. Next, the update in September was definitely old Niu's fault. He always wanted to explain, but he was worried that everyone would be angry and unable to accept it. When everyone calmed down and was calm, it would be easier to reason things out. Actually, during the half-a-month break, old Niu more or less had some time to surf the net every day. Everyone knew that old Niu was busy with renovations. The renovations were completed in September, and it was the time to buy various furniture, electrical appliances, and settle the bill. Old Niu's new house was 100 miles away from the place where he lived. In the end, he had to run almost every day. Because furniture and other things were not bought from the same place, he had to make a trip every time he delivered a piece. During that period, he was running almost every day. He ran to the furniture, electrical appliances, and building materials market to settle the bill. Of course, this did not mean that old Niu did not have time. In fact, he still had time to write at night. But old Niu had a bad habit. He was too tired during the day and could not lift his spirits at night. He thought about writing every day, thinking about the ending, but the more he thought about it, the more he felt that he had no clue. At first, he did not feel anything for 1 or 2 days, but later he realized that he had stopped updating for 3 days. Old Niu thought that if he went to ask for leave at this time, he would be scolded to death by everyone. This was probably a weakness of old Nyo's character. He was afraid of asking for leave, afraid of disappointing everyone. Then he would comfort himself. Anyway, it was the last 10 chapters. He would just write them all together. Every time he comforted himself like this, but he always had no free time to finish writing these 10 chapters. This resulted in an awkward situation later on. Old Nyo did not need to report Xinghe's results. He was indeed very satisfied. Under such results, Old Nyo had no reason to destroy his own future. Some people said that Old Nyo was a eunuch. Old Nyo clearly knew that there were less than 20 chapters left. How could he be a eunuch? Some people said that Old Nyo was writing a new book. Old Nyo admitted that during this period of time, when he stopped updating, Old Nyo pondered about the new book and wrote a little, but because he did not have enough time and energy, there were not many manuscripts for the new book. If Old Bull really had that much time and energy, he would be able to finish writing more than 10 chapters of content in 3 days at most. He had indeed stopped for a few days. He had no idea what to do, and the ending was stuck here. Without a doubt, this was Old Bull's fault. He was still inexperienced. He had never written a book with more than 3 million words. After the explosion of enthusiasm in the middle and early stages, his creative energy in the later stages had declined. This was completely a matter of control. This was a very costly tuition. If Old Cow had written a work of a few million words in the past, I believe that it wouldn't have been so bad when dealing with it. The Milky Way had finally come to an end. Whether it was good or bad, the dust should have settled. Old Cow did not stop writing, and his new book was already on its way. He believed that with the lesson of the Milky Way, Old Bull would be able to deal with the new book, Immortal God King, more easily. Xing, he was a firstborn, so he had no experience. When the immortal godly king reached the second child, many detours could be avoided. Now that the second child was trying to break through the rankings, it was still a hot-blooded Eastern fantasy work. Ask the Galactic Warriors to rush to the rescue. Book number 2136336. If you like this work, you're welcome to come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. That you're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.